We got the links. We gave everything ready, man.
Mm-hmm. Oh, that's cool. I like
You see
that.
that
This is the
though?
first time I saw the UI.
Yeah. Okay. So we can see people's messages. Hello, guys. How's everyone? Merry fucking Christmas, or actually in like 2 days, 3 days.
Where's the fucking hat? You gotta have a hat, bro.
I will have a hat. Okay, not now. Not now. Not now, bro. Come on, bro. That's a bit too quick. A bit too quick for me. But soon we will have it. Yo, next time we stream with a hat.
Hat stream.
Yeah, hat stream. Okay, let me see. Go a haircut. Let me do it like this, cause I can. Yeah. Yo, Prince Noir Day. What's
Is
up,
that?
man?
I literally was gonna say the same
What's
thing. Yo,
up?
is that my guy?
But yeah, I did get a haircut because honestly, listen, maintaining hair is the most annoying thing you can ever do as a man. Okay, just cut that shit off. There's no need to maintain it. Just cut that shit off and you're done.
As a fellow representative of men, yo, keep your hair hella long, like I have it, and
Yeah.
live your life as a regal king.
Look, I've already tried. I've tried this. Like, I'm gonna grow my hair very long.
Uh-huh.
I don't have the patience to wait 2 years to have Jason Momoa fucking hair. But the difference is between Jason Momoa hair and my hair is that there is this huge gap, right, of time where you look like a fucking emo. You look like a dork.
Yeah, I know what you mean. The awkward phase is what they scientifically call it.
Fucking scientifically call it. Okay, bro.
The intellectual authorities call it the awkward phase.
There's no.
But that was what the
my
pandemic was for. You had a whole year where no one really saw you.
God.
That's why I grew out my hair.
Yo, wait. Oh fuck. So it's a big change, isn't it? Because then you come in and then everyone's like, "Whoa, what the fuck?" And you do. By the way, guys, this guy has slick hair. You know. If you think Jason Momoa, why do you think I mentioned Jason Momoa? This fucking dude has Jason Momoa hair. It's kind of fucking insane.
Forget about the hair routine pattern.
Okay,
Talking about.
We have a question for you.
Yeah.
Ring. Hey.
Oh, whoa.
We have a question for you, man.
Yeah. Ooh.
His favorite. How did you know it's his favorite topic? How'd you know that? That's crazy. That's crazy, bro.
So for those who don't already know, on my link tree, do you see at the top left, on the second, I think it's like the second category, I've made an entire document on LIE and Social 7. And this is the classic LIE, of course, and the modern Social 7. This compatibility document goes through the entire Model A structure of LIE and how it fits into Social 7. So if you haven't checked that out already, go into my link to you right now, click on it, tell me what you think. And just to answer your question, Mally, it'd be easier for me to tell you in ways the Social 7 and the LIE are not compatible, because these two types are extremely compatible. It shocked me too. Because I came from I've been in sociology for 5 years now. And if anyone remembers 5 years ago, LIE being an E7 was like a joke. And I'll be honest, when I first started hearing about E7 and LIE, like a year and a half, 2 years ago, I was like, what are y'all talking about?
Yeah, that's a cap. I used to be like, nah,
remember?
it's bullshit. Yeah, it's bullshit. Yeah, Social 7. Yeah. But then I met you. Sense. I met you, and then I'm like, okay, I see what's up. Yeah, charlatan, and a social subtype. Okay, I could see Social 7 for this fucking guy.
When you think about the LIE, in every iteration, even a Social 3 LIE, they are an idealistic planner type. And I'm not talking planning in the same.
Wait. We need to fix this. I'm this one. Look, I was always under the impression that SP3, SO3, and SP7 are LIE compatible on Rust's video of Socionics and Enneagram video a year ago. Mally, dear Mary, I'm gonna tell Mally, not Mary, Mally. I'm gonna tell you a secret, and this is a wonderful secret, you know. And the secret is that typology, for better or worse, is actually an evolving system. Not necessarily the system is evolving, but our knowledge is constantly evolving, literally, like constantly.
There we go.
And a year ago, the gap in knowledge was huge. So now when we look at what is possible, SP3 just doesn't fit LIE, because SP3 is a very materialistic, sensorical, and confident type that is oriented towards those things. Social 3 fits LIE, and SP7, to be honest, as many people said, it doesn't make sense for this type to be a dynamic type like the LIE. So the truth is, if we look at the current correlations, it's social 3 and social 7, in my opinion. You know, again, people can have different opinions.
Absolutely. And, you know, being someone, I said all the time, correlations are like maybe on the bottom of my hierarchy when it comes to applying typology. But I have to say that I do believe in archetypal combinations. You're more likely to see a social 3 and a social 7 LIE than any other Enneagram combination. And there's reason for that. The structures fit seamlessly. And of course, I'll say social 7 fits a little bit more seamlessly, because there's aspects of social 3 and LIE that don't actually make sense. Like this whole need to establish a particular place in hierarchies, or acquiring material resources. Doesn't that come across kind of like almost a conscious desire for those things? It'd be weird for a classic socionics LIE who's vital in TI and SE to be so conscious about their disparity in that. But of course, this is the problem. All correlations have contradictions. But that's okay, you know? These systems were never built to be compatible with each other. They just are. But this is just my thoughts and perspectives.
It's his thoughts, guys. It's his thoughts. Don't worry. He's not saying anything weird.
I'm not killing your combinations. Yeah, I could care less.
Yeah. But why no SP3 LIE? Because if there's nothing there's nothing SI vulnerable and SE mobilizing about the SP3. There's nothing. This is a fucking concrete, grounded type who's oriented towards sensorics. There's just no people. I don't know why even people correlate SP3 with LIE. To be honest, you know.
And it's very interesting.
If you read the book, at least, I mean, yeah.
You're 100% right, and this came historically. SP3 social 3 LIE has been a long-term combination before even correlations got big, right?
Right.
But this is I'm going to talk about something that's like a problem with correlations, right? At some point, if you said you were an SP3 LIE, everyone would talk to you, bro. That's cool. You're the archetype. You know, SP3 was like the pseudo archetype for LIE for a long time, and you know what happened? And this is why at least, I'm pretty sure Russ here also thinks similarly, to go in depth with each system. People now associate, and this still happens, aspects of SP3 to LIE.
Yeah.
There's almost a one-to-one with the understanding of LIE
because the
through
sigma,
the lens of SP3.
They're almost like the Thomas Shelby is the sigma.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah, exactly. The kind of Thomas Shelby archetype, this sigma male grind setter
what the
who
fuck?
works and works.
That's fucking... oh my god, that's Akia. Oh my god. What the fuck,
it's
bro?
so funny.
I was like, who the fuck is this guy in the chat? Not now, but I was thinking, I seen this name. He was asking me some saucy questions, and I'm like, who the fuck is this guy? It's Akia, bro. He's trolling. I feel like I smell a first fucking decapitation, guys. Passing your fucking seatbelts. Because there's gonna be a bloodshed. I'm kidding. No one's gonna get fucking decapitated. But to get you guys talking, let me see. Why do you think SP7 LIE? Listen, I'm gonna be honest with you, because honesty is my fucking greatest virtue. So I haven't really circle jerked SP7 to fight for this combination. That's why you're not gonna see me argue. Oh my god, because I haven't been invested. I haven't. That's what I'm gonna tell you. Fuck it. What about you, Rain? What you think?
I got thoughts, of course.
You got
You know
thoughts?
what? I'm so much more interested on talking about the Enneagram types themselves.
Yeah,
You know,
fuck
or like
socionics. No, no,
how
no,
many
actually,
times are
don't
we
do
gonna
that.
talk
Don't
about
do
it?
that. Don't listen to him. He's spreading fucking propaganda. This is an agenda. This is the Social 7 charlatan agenda. We don't. We need to
I love.
decapitate him. Guys, I changed my fucking mind. This podcast, it's a bad idea. We need to decapitate him. He's gonna fucking spread this anti-socionics fucking propaganda.
Oh my god, we know we should add. You know how they have those polls, like in
Yeah.
those streams. We can
Yeah.
have. We should poll the audience. Should we end the stream right now for the sanctity
Yeah, and then
of the
everyone
typology
says
world?
yes, cause yes, and then you're like, well, fuck you guys. Come on, bro. Come on, bro. Yeah, but stereotypes are a motherfucker in typology. Just look at MBTI. Where Mali, I would say you're very correct. And you know, in my opinion, it's extremely rare for a person to be correctly typed in MBTI. Like I would say 95% of the time they're mistyped, and that's not even because they're dumb. It's more like the number of mistypes is so enormous compared to socionics. I mean, in socionics, of course, there's likelihood to be mistyped, but I believe if you look at socionics, you learn it, there's a higher chance that you'll discover the close type to your own type, or even type yourself accurately. But MBTI, bro, I used to think I'm an ENTP. I used to think I'm an ESTP. I'm fucking ENTJ. And I used to get typed as an ENTJ. Had actually people tell me. So like, even now, even when I'm making my videos, I had people tell me, no, I think this, you're an ENTJ, right? It's just because MBTI community doesn't actually learn from the true sources of Myers-Briggs. They learn from stereotypes. They learn from the websites, from Tumblr. It's basically, it cannot be saved. It cannot, we're trying, okay? We're trying to save MBTI. It's very fucking difficult.
You're doing good. You're doing really good, though. I've seen those videos recently released on MBTI. Anyone in here who hasn't checked them out already, please do. You're doing a great ass job.
Thank you. I mean, it takes time, and it's just so much to fucking and the problem becomes you're like the only one who has different opinions, because everyone in MBTI thinks, ESTP, it's just he's not gonna be a serious individual. He has FE tertiary, he's hyper charismatic, he's super like social, he almost acts like an ethical type. And then you go around and say, no, actually ESTPs are dog shit when it comes to their feeling elements. They're actually trash. And it's like, that's not true, you're fucking stupid, you don't know what the fuck you're talking about. So that's the problem. There's gonna be pushback, because people are like, ISFP is actually a dutiful type that tries to do the right thing, and they're quite organized and tactful. I thought they're impulsive and then all over the place. There's gonna be a pushback. Yeah, and that's what I was talking about. Yeah, and that's what I was talking about. Jesus, no ISTP words. Yeah, and I don't blame them, because when I look at I was watching the video, the popular video I made, and I'm like, I use Silco and Michael Corleone for the ISTP. This is so people can't grasp it. They can't. Their brain breaks when they think Michael Corleone is an ISTP and Silco is. They can't compute it, and I don't blame them. But that's just fault of the misunderstandings of the fucking system.
Those are INTJs, okay? INTJs. EAs.
Actually, someone told me, yeah. Some, what's funny? When MBTI people come to my comment section, they're like, actually, you're wrong. Like, wow, okay? INTJ, that's his real type. And everything you say about SC is just so incorrect. Let me enlighten you. And your first reaction is like, buddy, if there are levels to this game, you shouldn't be commenting about this shit, okay? But okay, we ignore, because Jesus Christ, there's no way to save them.
One of my favorite ones that happens to is it's actually Jace from Arcane.
Oh my god,
People cannot
bro.
conceptualize that you would be an ENTJ in
They
authentic
can not
MBTI.
only that. No, 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 no. Let's go take it. Let's whoa. Take a step
Oh,
further. Take a step further. They can't even understand why he's a fucking LIE. I have fucking geeks on PDB telling me he's an ILE. He's an ILE. And so you think his super ego. So he looks at his super ego. He collects information in the super ego. He uses his ego block to solve those problems. And you think that's a fucking ILE. He definitely doesn't have the FESI super ego. Definitely not. And he definitely doesn't try to solve that shit with his ego block of TE and I. No, 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 no. No, what the fuck? That doesn't sound like fucking Jace at all. That's crazy. You know, so don't even get me fucking started, man.
It's so interesting because there's such a great example of an ILE ENTP with Echo right there, and people will look
I
at you dead in your
know.
eyes and tell you these two types are the same
They're the
types.
same,
Jace
bro.
and
No,
Echo
no, no.
process information the same way.
They're the
I think
same.
it's so
And they
crazy
still
to me.
think, you know what's funny? They still think like an ILE is the true idealist. Like the true idealist, the detached from environment, a geek. They think this. They even though an ILE is actually much more like they're much more impulsive. They're much more even grounded. But people don't see that. People just don't see that. You know.
It's so interesting, and you know what it is I'm going to use one of your words here: the butchering of TE in every
Yeah,
single system.
it
It's
is.
so vastly different.
It's sad.
TE in original MBTI, TE in like 16
Yeah,
personalities,
and
like
what is
MBTI,
TE?
TE in
Big Daddy
Western. It's
Dom,
all
right?
so different.
Big Daddy Dom. If you think about ideas, that's NE. It's like
Yup,
fuck.
yup. If you're innovative, that's any. If you're visionary, that's any. Like it's mind boggling. I don't even know. Mind boggling, boggling.
Mind boggling. I
Yeah,
think.
it's
Yeah, yeah.
boggling my mind.
It's boggling your mind. ENTJ planet, but yeah, I mean the ENTJ Tony Soprano. That's a different level. That's a different level. Like you think an ENTJ is Tony Soprano. That's a different fucking level. Yo, what's up? Patrick Jane and Gail Decarios are great examples. So I would agree. Patrick Jane. I think he's in the movie, in the TV show Mentalist.
I love The Mentalist. I
Wow,
watched so much of that as a
fascinating.
teenager.
Yeah.
I thought he was so cool.
TE is just figure shit out function. ILE fits better than LI archetypically. I'm not against this.
It makes more sense with conscious role SE. You know?
That's my thing. Because I could see the ILE be a tryhard and sweaty as fuck with SE. And cringe. They could also be cringe with SE. Because their role is cringe. You know? So I could see that. And it makes... The thing is, let's be honest, it's kind of hard to make one F fit LIE, I think. And we all kind of agree with that, you know? Patrick Jane and Gail are archetypically SP7. And, okay. M says, people are typing yo, sexual 2. People are typing you, sexual 2.
I thought it was like a Japanese anime character.
No, I thought it was some fucking, you know, like, you know the hentai, but do you know the hentai that's kind of degenerate? I thought that's what it was. People are typing me sexual 2. You know, okay, so I would say this, right? If I was an Enneagram 2, do you know what subtype I would be in Enneagram 2 if I actually was like an Enneagram 2? Because it certainly wouldn't be sexual 2. It would be social 2. So I think if you're gonna type me like Enneagram 2, just pick the right subtype, you know? Like, that's all. Pick the right subtype. If he did the next stream with Kat, oh my fucking god. Bro, you butchering it though. Cristiano Ronaldo, sexual 3. I don't think he's... I personally typed him sexual 3. You know, but... I know some people type him SP3 LSE. And as crazy as that is, Though he would be either an essential 3 or an SP3. Personally, I just don't think he's an SP3. He's a fucking diva.
I don't know much about him, but I would not type him a social 3.
No, he's not. He's not. Rust is ESC confirmed. Yes. Yes, I'm definitely FI ignoring. I think it makes perfect sense.
Flipped. I'm saving that.
I think I think the role can appear decently skills since it's in the mental block. Skill and an element may be part of dimensional experience. Not like Feral Wolf Child ESC knows how to behave.
Bro, that was loaded. Those shots that ESC took at the end was crazy.
Yeah. I think it's such a hard thing because we're talking about like a theoretical measurement of an element, if it's good or if it's bad, you know. And I think that's so fucking difficult to do because there's no way to measure it, you know. So I think people sleep on ESC's TE. You know, people really underestimate it. People, and I think many IEs actually think they're ESCs. I kind of have a feeling that's the truth. You know, many IE sexual sevens might be thinking they're ESCs. But then you look at them like, where's TE role? Which TE role is very, you know, this is not someone who, it's like you're in an SCE and you want someone to tell you how to use your fucking Any. How would you react? Right? How would an EIE react if someone would try to kind of get with them on their TE? Tell them how the fuck to do things. They'd reject that shit. They'd be like, man, fuck that. They'd be reactive. They'd be more pushy against that. So people really do need to give it some love. Give the ESC and give the EIE some love.
It's really crazy to me. I know, once again, we made this stream called Journey Through Enneagram, but just to add this one thing, when the absolute like batshitness that when people think of EIEs roll TE, it's like this Giga Chad pseudo base thing. Like we type people like Griffith and Leluc from fucking Togias and Berserk respectively as EIEs, and they're like the most strategic, like know exactly what actions take at what moment. They like know every single perfect move in every scenario, and people are like, yeah, that's roll TE, no problem at all, no problem at all. That's
it's a glaze.
Roll TE. But ESCTE is now like this defective thing that just doesn't work. Oh, so annoying, you know? I think that's just, it's so hypocritical to have both of those thoughts at the same time, that EIE's TE is like so much more capable than ESC's TE.
Thoughts on Ichazo's 4 and Naranjo's? Feels like a halfway between the 4. I think Ichazo's 4 is the over-reasoner. My wife types SP4 in Naranjo, and she fits very well the over reasoner in the Ichazo 4. And I think, I mean, to me, I kind of feel like that's what 4-core was supposed to be, right? So I can see why people might think it's a bit 5-ish. Maybe like someone might be like a sexual 5. They might read that and be like, whoa, you know, I kind of relate to being thinking about the motivations of the relationships, thinking about those things all the time, analyzing shit. I could see why they think that, but you have to understand that in Naranjo, you know, 4-core is still quite intellectual type. And they do, yeah, and they mix, they combine intellectualism with emotionality, emotional depth with intellectualism. So it is quite intellectual. It's just something that people forget. They just think it's crybaby being depressed. From all of my experience, they think a lot, they worry a lot, they analyze a lot, right? Motivations, all of that is true, but they're very often artistic people, interested in many intellectual ventures. Often when it comes to self-expression, their emotionality, their inner world, art is the perfect way for them. Poetry, art, music, anything, you know. So I feel like people just kind of forgot about that, you know. That's my take on that. Ring can give his own opinion.
You actually explained it really, really well. I'm exactly going to say the same thing, because people think of the Ikazo P4 to be some sort of pseudo 5 for the, like, its modern, like, you know,
Yeah.
variant, right? But it's not true. The P4, it's someone at the end of the day is someone who copes logic, who's coping when it comes
Yeah.
to this realm of
Yeah.
like being able to apply knowledge, understand knowledge, and they overthink that they overthink their relationships. Where it's funny because then they talk about the P5 as this people pleaser who's like brain dead people pleaser, and that's not true. The P5, in my opinion, and you can read it too, is actually naturally more logical and knowledgeable than the P4 is. The P4 just fixates on intellectualizing their relationships, but they're not. I would necessarily say
Yeah.
more knowledgeable or more
No.
logical because that tends to happen. People who are like type of social 5, social 6 and modern, they're like, oh, I can't be a P5. I'm a P4 because it literally
Yeah.
says they over reason.
And
No,
that's,
it's
you know what that is?
not
That's
true.
the issue. And every system has this issue. And people will fixate on this, misunderstand it, and then think, well, I over reason, I must fit that. And then we have those correlations between
Mm-hmm.
5 and 4. And I'm not saying it's not possible. Maybe you are, but listen, if you really do fit Enneagram 5 very well, okay, this might be a hot take, okay, but I'll tell you this.
Okay,
If
let's do this.
Okay, if you fit a type very well in Naranjo, right? It's very true. Like you fit the many areas of it, all of it. I just kind of feel like you should also relate to the fucking Ichazo point. In my opinion, if you are actually a good representation of a type, in my opinion, you should. You know, and that's not because for example, Enneagram 8. There are some characters where I look at them and I wouldn't necessarily say that they're P8. But are they truly as great representations of the type? That's kind of my point. So if you are, that's my hot take. If you are fucking typed as something and you actually fit it very well, I'm surprised that you fucking type yourself as completely something different. Like, the fuck, what happened? But that's my. Yeah, this causes so much fucking issues. Yeah, fuck's sake. Ring, what you thinking? What are you thinking?
Oh, to me, I don't think that there necessarily needs to be a one-to-one. Like if you are a let's say an E7 in modern, that doesn't mean you're gonna necessarily
No,
be
I
a
don't think there.
P7 in English.
I don't think it necessarily means it has to be one to one. But that's why I don't like talking about the correlations between Enneagram,
Yeah.
the each other. It frustrates me personally. It makes me feel frustrated because, yeah, dude, once I start thinking about that shit and I'm like trying
Yeah.
to fucking connect
There's
that,
too many contradictions.
my brain melts, bro. So I just don't think about that shit. But okay,
Yeah.
moving on. Let's move on. Fuck it. So do I know when the book's coming out? I don't have a secret information, but from all the secret information I did receive, which I obviously did not have, which I obviously did receive, probably, I don't know, February, January, February, March, something like that, maybe some fucking shit like that. So that's where we should be expecting Enneagram 8. It might never come out, GTA 6 might come out before fucking Enneagram 8. Who knows? Who
And
knows?
if you don't speak Spanish, add 1 to 2 months at
True, yeah,
minimum
at 1 to 2
to your
months.
wait time.
Or actually, you
Yeah.
could learn Spanish. Fuck it, listen, this could be your opportunity to learn it, Wow. But let's move on. Luigi Mangione, 3V, yeah. What unnoticeable differences between each other? Okay, Ring, you can fucking geek this out.
What knows the difference between Kaza and
Because,
Narano and
yeah,
how to decide
okay.
what are between the theories? Well, you've asked a very large question. So I'm going to tell you one thing that I really like to point the difference out between the two. Of course, basic stuff is like Naranjo has a clinical perspective to Enneagram, so he's combined it with psychological like concepts and diagnosis from the DSM-5. For those who know where the DSM-5 or the 6 even, they're just ways to be able to identify psychological illnesses in people, and he's connected those to the original Enneagram fixations. Ikazo, on the other hand, and a more spiritual connection in terms of applying Enneagram, um, which everyone got the Enneagram from Gurdjieff back in like the 60s or 50s. Ikazo does not. In Ikazo, it's very interesting. There, the three different, like how we know gut, head, and archetypes, right? There's actually three different categories. There's a category of mother trauma, right? That is in 8, 9, and 1. There's a category for father trauma, which is 2, 3, and 4. But here's something really interesting when it comes to the quote unquote head types that is not in Neurano, which is, I think, really going to be interesting for everybody. There is a third trauma that happens to the 5, 6, and 7 points, which is peer societal sibling trauma, where they have a trauma from interacting with others that are not their parents, in the same way the 2, 3, and 4 points and the 8, 9, and 1 points are. Naranjo's system barely touches upon it. Almost every single core trauma is related to mother or father or both type of like mishandling of the relationships. So I think that's something that's really interesting that I personally related. I type, you can't really type in Ikazo. I identify with the P7 major fixation. And a lot of it's because I don't think I have a particular trauma with either parent, but I definitely have trauma with not my siblings, but like my peer groups when I was younger. So that's a big difference. And just to decide what you are between the theories, research, and research. That's the fastest way.
And I'll tell you this: don't even use my channel as a way to fucking learn this shit. I'm gonna be honest with you. Don't, because maybe you're gonna be that controversial combination, but you genuinely will do all kinds of research. You're gonna learn that shit. You will know all the systems, and you'll actually know them. Not like some people who tell me I'm an SCE sexual too. You talk to them, you're like, motherfucker, you confused. You just don't know shit. I'm talking about people who truly know what the fuck they're talking about. In that case, you should do it on your own. You should learn on your own. And then make a decision. Sometimes I say, listen, if you relate to this shit and you actually learn those two things, and you do have you are able to show that you know this, learn, because trust me, you will be misguided. How many times have I been wrong? When you watch me, how many times have I been fucking wrong? In fact, that's the point of typology. We are always fucking, every year we're wrong, bro. Next year, a lot of this shit will be wrong. It will be outdated. So technically, it's gonna be wrong. So, can you even fucking do that, bro? You have to really do research on your own, learn on your own. Because how many times have I been asking other people for opinions, and they've misled me, not on purpose, but instead of reading that's what happened to me with each other. I completely misunderstood it. I was making judgments and conclusions before I learned it. And I was asking people who created their own headcanon of types, headcanon of each other, which is the worst kind of thing you can do. But that's the TI Polar way. Collect fucking information, because you can't do fucking anything else. And that led me to confusion. Until I opened the fucking book and I'm like, Jesus Christ. Let me compare those two things and I'm gonna know. And simple as that. Always trust the fucking sources. Don't even fucking trust me. Man, fuck me. Trust the sources. That's my opinion.
Now that's something people should really clip.
Yeah.
Because people look at you some sort of intellectual authority.
And how many times do I need to tell you? I'm not an intellectual authority. Of course, listen. The only time people might come at me and have a fucking certain sense that I'm trying to push shit on them, I will only push shit on you if you try to be smart with me. That's true. If you try to be snarky, hostile, yes, I will push shit on you because you deserve it, okay? But if we just chilling and everyone's minding their own fucking business, no one wants to. I don't want to be an intellectual authority, Because I believe there should be no intellectual authority. In fact, I fight against intellectual authority. That's why I don't like certain groups, certain shit, because I don't fuck with it. Because they represent intellectual authority, they pose as that, and they create misinformation. I don't want to do that. So, that's my own fucking personal rant. Anyway. Okay, is sexual 5 even possible for INTP? No, it's not possible. Rust, could you describe the differences between LVEF, VLEF? Yes, INTJ Social 5. Welcome, my lovely dual, hopefully correctly typed. I don't use AP, and honestly, you shouldn't either. It's fucking dog shit. Use Psychosophy, and you are likely LVEF. That's very good typing. In fact, archetypal for the Social 5. Social 5 would never fit VLEF. That's a Social 7. 1V doesn't actually fit Enneagram 5 in any way, shape, or form. We just shouldn't through with that shit. ADHD mode. It's Gatsby too not too depressive. No, bro. Anyone can be depressed. You know, this doesn't mean shit. Literally, anyone can be fucking depressed. Everybody on the Rusted server will be Enneagram 10 soon. Shibo-induced trauma. Okay, very nice, Shibo. Very nice. Definitely gonna make people feel very fucking cozy. But I've seen a member. I've seen someone talking. Denezo. Where the fuck was Denezo? I want to see Denezo. Not Dosdano. They both sound the same. Denezo, Dosdano. I thought that's the same person, actually. That's the funny thing. Where the fuck is this person? Wow, bro. I'm tripping. Okay, fuck it. Okay. Why is the chat so yellow? The chat's so fucking yellow, bro. Okay, Hunter. Can you explain beta charlatanism in SP7? Many people type me SP7, but I'm not extremely talkative. On the other hand, I'm careful with words, using them as tools to obtain things when I need. I feel like that's kind of the point of SP7. I think using verbal ability to get the shit you need, you know? But maybe you're an SP8, bro. Maybe you're an SP8, you know? I'm not saying, but, you know, maybe I'm saying it. And you should check that. I'm fucked up, bro. I just caused a possible typological breakdown for another person in the fucking chat. Forgive me. Okay, forgive me. I'm sorry. Okay, Denezo. Oh my god, that's what I wanted. Thank you. Denezo. Listen, Denezo. I joined the Discord server all the way back in September, but I don't do Discord and I have no idea. Back in September. Oh, okay. I have no idea where to begin. Listen, Denezo, you are one of us. I've seen you around. You've defended good takes. You had good takes. You have the good mentality. You are one of us. Maybe they don't know you yet. The community doesn't know you yet. But it's okay. If you just say, hey guys, it's me, Denezo. I've been on stream. I have based takes. I'm based. Okay? I will make sure people will fucking welcome you, of course. We like and we welcome like-minded individuals. Don't worry. Now, all the other cunts, they're not welcome. We decapitate them. But you are very welcome. We love you. You're amazing. Can TI bases be averse to talking about deep personal things and sharing emotions? They can be averse to that, sure, yeah. I mean, but so can many other people can be averse to that, you know? Man, fuck socionics, man. Fuck socionics. It's too difficult sometimes to explain shit quickly. You know, when you're on a stream and you try to explain shit in socionics, it's so difficult. I feel like Enneagram, I can conceptualize a concept in a general way much quicker. But here I have like 8 elements, you know. June is asking more of a fun, dumb question. It's not a dumb question. Don't say that. Okay? Listen. My father, growing up, he believed there were dumb questions. And he definitely believed you shouldn't be asking dumb fucking questions. Certainly. So when you'd ask the dumb question, he'd make you feel dumb. Okay? Now, I'm not my father. It's true that I have some sexual one tendencies. Okay? So I might enforce some things on you, aka my truth, only at times. But the truth is, there's no such thing as a dumb question. And I'm a big believer on that. As long as you're curious and you show curiosity, there's no dumb questions. That's all I can say. So respect for you to have this fun question. So what do you think of the titles given to the types? Loyalist. What would you rename them if you could? Garbage. Most of those fucking names were created by Enneagram 8, the Challenger. Or 6, Loyalist. 2, the Helper. It's crap. Ring, you are like the fucking ideas guy. You're smart with ideas. You can come up with shit quickly. What would you give those 1, 2, 3, 4, those core Enneagram types names, titles, if you could see that could define who they are?
It's so interesting that you say that, right? Because to me, of course, there is the core, right? And there is like behaviors and fixations and passions at the core. But when you actually interact with these different types, they come across with their instincts being like intertwined. So to say one thing it kind of takes away from the other manifestations of that same core type, right? Like if I call, let's say, the E8, right, justice or something, right? I wouldn't
I
say
know. It
necessarily
doesn't fit that well.
it might fit social 8 really well, even maybe even SP8 at times, but SP8 and sexual 8 are going to like take the fucking L, you know, because they're not as oriented towards displaying these things like what we consider justice. It becomes very much an internal feeling of having a strong feeling of right and wrong, you know. So I don't focus really too much. Actually, they already do have names that are great. It's the sins: pride, lust, gluttony. Just use those. They're great. They make sense and they indicate the core mechanism going on. Use that instead.
Or just, you know what you should do? Oh my god, June, a perfect idea. You should look at how Naranjo called them. He had 27 subtypes that he named. Easy peasy, lemonade squeezy, just like that. Fuck, dude. Marlis asks, why any demonstrative doesn't work with Enneagram 1? Yes, it is a strong element, but it is in the ID block. It isn't the main focus of the type. Could you help me understand? Well, it's funny that you ask, because Ring here, this individual in the call, was someone who believed he was Enneagram 1. And he indeed is an LIE. So if he thought he was Enneagram 1, you, my friend, might also be mistyped. So what made you realize Enneagram 1 is not you, Ring?
For me, what really drew me towards Enneagram 1 was the way the core, even particularly for anyone who's curious, I typed the social 1 for a while. And E1 and social 1, both the core, the instinct, and the overall subtype, are very relatable to me. And it made a ton of sense because before that, I actually typed as an SP7, which had a lot more problems because I'm not this person who is very self focused on providing myself a certain type of experience, and I'm actually a lot more I would say pro altruistic and I don't know why I keep thinking of pro-choice, pro-social.
Well, fucking
Yeah,
social
I
7.
know,
Pro-choice, guys.
Pro,
He's pro-choice. You need to know he's pro-choice. He has to tell you he's pro-choice. This is the social 7 activities. He is pro-choice.
The being pro-social is not something you would describe an SP7 with, right?
Yeah,
so
that,
what I really
no.
The reason why I related to E1 is because of the desire to improve myself, the desire to plan and create a better future, the one and desire to help others reach a certain place in their lives, being part of the greater whole, working hard to develop myself. A lot of these things that the social 7 also shares. What really took me away from E1 and social 1 is it has none of the social charisma, the social seduction aspects, being able to be warm and talk to people at that level. And I'm not very much an overtly hypercritical person unless you catch me at a very particular moment.
Yeah, he's not that kind of critical. He's, honestly, he's a sweet bear. That's all I can tell you. Okay? He's not that, he can be, but I don't think he wants to be critical, and I'm gonna tell you why. Because I think to be critical, that kind of goes against the fucking social 7, in my opinion, you know? Because to be critical, you have to be a dick. And that social 7 does not want to be a dick. They will only do that when they're really losing their shit. Like, push to the fucking limit, they might do that. But they don't want to do that. They want to be good. They want to be perfect. They want to be amazing, extraordinary. By being a critical fucking jackass, you're not exactly doing that. You're pushing people away because you're a critical jackass, you know?
Absolutely. I want to help people in a way that isn't going to make them feel bad.
Yeah.
That ruins their mood. That pushes them to a place where they actually want to give up afterwards.
Yeah. Let's move
I
on.
like to provide. Okay, yeah.
We yap too much. We yap too much, man.
Yep.
Yep. Okay. When relating to many types, how did you narrow down your core? Simply trying to follow a logical line? I trying to relate a fix into a potential core. What I don't understand what she means. What June means with the second question. Trying to relate a fix into a potential core.
Oh, what they're saying is that, oh, I went through all the nine Enneagrams and then I picked the fix in every single, like, head, gut, and heart triad.
Oh.
Now, and like, how do I like refine my choices of preferred like Enneagrams into the Enneagram to find the core,
You
the one
should
that rules
not
them all?
worry about the fixes shit if you want to find your own, yeah, the core type. That's what I would do. I would just not focus on that. Just
Yeah.
listen. I feel like maybe being Enneagram 8 it's a bit different, but when you read, you'll have a certain idea about yourself because you're gonna hear, oh, Enneagram 1 is very critical, rigid. Oh shit, that's not me, you know? Like, that's not me at all. So I'm not even, we already know, it's obvious. Or like, oh, this type is very gloomy and depressive and very introspective, very deep. Yeah, that's not me. You know it. So you know which ones to remove from the equation. So that would be my get like a basic idea by using PDB wiki, for example, read some things about the core of the types and go from there. You'll see some things more relatable, maybe you'll find three types, and then read deeper, read the books, Enneagram subtype books, and you can kind of proceed to go deeper in that, in my opinion. What do you think, Ring?
I think the same thing as well. I think that you just go through each of them, read about
Yeah,
the cores.
that's it. I mean,
Eventually,
listen,
they're gonna start talking to you back.
there's no like amazing pill that will give you that will, oh my god, amazing method of finding your core. I'm telling you, it's just reading and thinking, oh, I relate to this, or I can see how it applies to my life. That's it. That's all it is, and we all
There's
do
there's
that.
there's so many shortcuts that people use. That's why a lot of people also ask, oh, do I come across like this or vibe me? And at the end of the day, there's so much of Enneagram that's below the
I mean, my
surface that no
question
one
is,
is
how the
gonna
fuck
see.
how don't you know your type? Like, and I can understand you confused between subtypes because it's the same type. But sometimes people like vibe me because I've seen people, especially on PDB, they're between like fucking seven different types that are completely opposite, and I'm like, I don't think it's type O, it's you. Like you have some fucking issues, you know? Like how the fuck don't you know if you're fucking introverted or an extrovert? As in, are you fucking outgoing? Are you more passive? Right? But people told you. Do you think people ever told me, oh wow, Ross, you're so fucking passive? Oh my god, you're so quiet, you're so silent, you're so passive, you're so introverted. No. So I already knew how I'm like because people obviously told me enough. I've heard enough stories about myself, about my flaws, to kind of have an idea of what the fuck is true or what might not be true. You know? So that's kind of that.
I
Ross
want,
joined.
I want,
Yeah, what's up?
I just want to add something really quickly because in my experience, I was between E1 and E7 for some time,
Yeah,
and I related a lot to E1. Like the core itself is very relatable in terms of like trying to improve and develop your surroundings to your standards. What happened was at the end of the day, one is going to fit you so much better than the other, but I can totally get it, if
it
someone
can
gets
be diff. I'm not. Yeah,
lost.
I'm not saying it isn't. Like it's very normal to not know exactly. But bro, if you go between like LSI sexual 6 and then the other time you like considering EII social 4, I'm sorry. I'm sorry, but maybe choose another hobby, you know?
Mhm.
No fucking disses though. We good. Rust, your father sounds TE based. He was a TE based. I think he was an LSC. Maybe sexual 1. Why do you consider sexual 4 more intellectual? I don't think I consider that. I don't think I said it's more intellectual. But if we want to care what Naranjo said, he claimed he claimed it is the intellectual four. Do I agree with it completely? Personally, kind of feel like it's a cap. But that's just me. What do you think, Ring?
Yeah, I know exactly where this idea of sexual four being the intellectual E4 comes from. It's from chapter 4 of the sexual force section in NVIDIA. And there's the last trait itself is, oh, the sexual four has intellectual tendencies. I'm gonna say that depending on which author you listen to, subscribe to, they had all said that the social four, the SP4, and the S64 are all intellectualized in one way or another, or are the intellectual of the three. But the the reality, the reality is like what you said earlier. The E4
Mm.
itself has intellectual parts to it
That's the
that
thing.
work with
Yeah.
every
Yeah.
every single subtype.
And that's you know what I kind of think too. I feel like this whole intellectual and who's not such a circle jerk.
Yeah, it's such a
You feel
circle
it though. You
jerk.
feel it, and
It
I've seen
is.
and I've seen people like type others based like, are you the intellectual or the anti-intellectual subtype? It's like, and I even did that myself, and it's like, dude, it's such a circle jerk, and it's misunderstood because people don't know what anti-intellectual means. You know?
Yep, they don't.
They don't because
Do
and
not.
I'm telling you, being Enneagram 8, it's fucking difficult when it's like portrayed as an anti-intellectual and people hear that, and then it's really hard to explain the concept of what it means to be anti-intellectual. People don't get that, and they obsess and they will type people. I feel like I'm the intellectual X, Y, and Z, so I should be that subtype rather than the other. It's like, don't type by. It's we always say, don't type by details. Do not type by small specific things. Don't do that, and always look at the big picture. That's what I would say. Look at the big picture. Okay, let's go further, right? Hunter Davis sounds should we take instinctual variants as independent principle at first, not related to a specific subtype, like understanding if you're more SO oriented, SP oriented, or S sex is a useful.
This is a good
for you.
question.
This is all for you because I know you had some good things to say about this.
This is a really good question. A lot of what me and Russ here really try to push recently is this concept called Enneagram fundamentalism. It's going back to the roots of why certain subtypes even exist. This is the exact way Naranjo and his team came up with these subtypes. It's looking at the overall, the passion, the fixation, the instinctual variance, then combining them all together into the subtype. Subtypes are important, but you need to know why those subtypes exist. If you read any of the books, literally the first few paragraphs will always go into why the instinctual variant is doing, like what is the instinctual variant doing here, what is the core passion and fixation doing, and how do they work together into creating the subtype. You are asking, should I do instinctual variants independently at first? I think that it is a way to explore yourself that's super important, because you get the idea of where your mind space is hyper fixated on. And a lot of this is fixation. You're fixated on a core Enneagram, you're fixated on a instinctual variant, and if you put those together, you get your subtype, which you have that neurotic need, that neurotic fixation for. True. I think that finding your IV is really great. Because it really starts putting together where you are looking at. Now, for example, I've typed myself both SP7 and SP3 in the past, and I will never, ever type myself an SP first again, any subtype. And it's not because those SP subtypes are not relatable. I think SP7 in a lot of ways is this really interesting, relatable subtype. But I won't type as it because I know at the end of the day, I am neurotically fixated on the social instinct. I overthink relationships with others. I overthink communities, groups, society at large, and my place within them. My defense mechanisms, the way I survive in this world, is through SO. So even though, let's say, SP3 and SP7 might be relatable to me at times, I will more likely than not, if I weren't, of course, hypothetically, if I had to choose another type, I would go social 3 and social 7. And that is just the way my mind works. Because I took the time to research IVs themselves, find where I'm fixated in IVs, has it insurmountably helped me find my core subtype, my core and my subtype, and gives me comfort that I'm in the right place. Russ here feels the same way because a lot of people type him like a sexual 8 or something fucking stupid like a sexual 2. And the reality is, this man over here, this handsome fellow over here, is not sexual instinct first. Because he's like intense and loud, doesn't mean he's sexual instinct first. He is neurotically fixated on the social instinct, just like me. And that really helps you frame and understand yourself and be able to find your right subtype. So I agree. It's a great exercise to look into the IV, but I would say it just helps you with everything else you should be doing. Looking into the core, look into the IV, look at the subtypes, do it all. Why stop?
Perfect, because you mentioned something, yeah, and like getting to know each other. Really, it's so funny because you're a social seven, and I type as a social eight, and it's like there's so much overlap between each other's, like the general, almost you can see instinctual issues, like attitude to the community, how we kind of feel sometimes. We feel this huge almost addiction, almost like a
Yes.
compulsion to constantly engage more and do more, and right. But then on the other hand, something happens and we feel this another strong reaction than to withdraw or to just say fuck that, it's such a extreme always reaction, and this compulsion, and that's what the neurotic need is, of the instinct. It is, you can't help it. If I sometimes say I would want to live in woods, I would really want to live in woods so I could, just fucking be done with shit and just have peace and quiet. But guess the fuck what? I'm in the woods, then you see me trying to do shit to again have a bigger impact on shit. It's I mean, it's not different than an addiction. You do it more and more and more and more, and it's automatic, and that's how the instinct really works. So let's see.
You
I'd like an attempt at explaining, because myself don't get what anti-intellectual means, and now my brain is, what is this? How would you best describe it, anti-intellectual, quickly, Ring, in the quickest, most
the
accessible
way
way?
he I will give one caveat and then I'll explain it. I'll explain it first and then give you the caveat. Anti-intellectual, especially when pertaining to the E8, means that this person naturally feels distrustful to authority figures of the intelligentsia. In fancy words, that means government structures, educational structures, religious structures, you name it, any place that asserts themselves as an authority to tell people what to do, what to think, how to be. And
Yeah,
E8 and other anti-intellectual types will rebel against it, will move against those ideas, and even like disparage it. Because that for them is intellectualism. Anti-intellectualism. Intellectualism, in the way Naruto explained it, is to move against these organized bodies of knowledge and information because there's an innate distrust with it.
perfect.
Now, that is the way you understand it. I want to give the caveat. Naruto, we all know how Naruto writes. I always joke
Mm,
about it.
yeah.
Naruto is very free with the way he uses words
Yeah,
sometimes.
he
So
throws those
you're
terms, and then it's like, once this term means something, then the other week it means something else. So.
Yeah. So intellectual, sometimes you read intellectual and it literally means this person uses like logical behavior patterns. And then sometimes it means like intelligentsia and like the organized structure of information. It's really depends on the context and the way they're using intellectual. When they say the social two is like the most intellectual E2, which is not saying a lot. I always love saying that. They literally mean that the social two partakes in logical strategies. But when they say that the E8s are anti-intellectuals, that's not saying they do not partake in logical strategies. It means the other way, where it's they don't trust bodies and authoritative
Yeah, any
bodies telling
authority, and
people.
this
Yeah.
is any intellectual authority, they might rebel, and that's
Yep.
true. That is very true. I
Yep.
mean, so it's not necessarily that they will reject reason and fucking basic logic or interest in that way.
Yep.
No.
Oh yeah. And that's how people see it. That's the crazy part.
Yeah, and I know. It's like, fuck, dude. Bro, I know. I'm an Enneagram mate. I know what the fuck. People be like, dude, he used his brain once. He's a fucking seven, and it's like, nice. I'm a fucking seven now. Okay. Um, where is a good place about SOSXSP oriented shit? Do you know any websites for that kind of thing? What you think?
Let me I need a rain check on that because I want to make sure I give the right sites for
Yeah,
it. The
because
way
it's
I
true
learned
that you're not
SOSP,
gonna find that much of good stuff for anything.
the reality is that SOSX and SP are actually so straightforward. They're so like defined that you can over explain it and make it into something it's not. for example, people start thinking SX means the like overthinking and neurotic tendencies towards relationships when it's not really the relationships, it's the energy and the intensity that one feels by engaging in that relationship. It's not the relationship itself, because then now you're talking about an SO. So I think that what we could do actually, Russ, you and I, we can just make like 3 quick definitions and make them super simple. And I think people can use that, because I think the resources over explain it
Oh yeah.
to the point that it becomes confusing.
But the resources also will mislead you because they're like, oh, you like fucking family gatherings. You're social. You're social. It's like,
Oh man, that's so funny. It's so true.
what?
It's so
It's
true.
true.
Although
That's why we. That's why do you think people can tap themselves by IVs? Because they go to one website, they read that shit, and like, yeah, but I don't hate people. You know, like,
yeah, I really like people.
but I'm also I'm also, you know, don't want to socialize with people. How can I be a social subtype? Shit don't make any sense. You know, it's like if we were to simplify it, just think the way I would think. Ring can obviously confirm or even correct. SP survival, your own self, stability, basically body, fucking security. Think that your safety, what happens to you, your feeling of satisfaction, anything to relate it with survival and security and stability, I think can go into the SP. With sexual, you have intensity, chemistry. How does this make you feel in the intensity? You know, because sometimes people think sex is our relationships. That's not true. It's intensity. So it's the intensity, that the chemistry, that spark that they feel that draws them towards it. That's why you see often sexual subtypes very obsessive. When it might be an object, might be an idea, might be passion, might be a relationship. They become obsessive. It's this intense search for that. So that's sexual. Social, think where do you stand with people? Who's your friend? Who are you with? Where do you fit into the greater scheme of the environment? That's how you could kind of think about it. But you can add more, Rank, because I feel like that she wasn't on point. That she wasn't that good.
No, I think you were good. I think we can see all the instincts as ways humans survive. There are humans that survive by creating relationships with others and having a social presence. I don't want to use the word social again. Having a communal presence. That's the SO. There's humans that survive by seeking, searching, and I was going to say harvesting, like it's like food. I'm going to say it anyway. Harvesting energy and intensity. A feeling of aliveness that comes from that is the way they survive. The SX survives. And the SP survives by seeking resources, things that keep their body moving, achieving well-being, making it through the day in a very materialistic physical way. That's SP. All these ways are the ways humans survive naturally, and you can see all of these very simple. They really are straightforward. And you can only over-explain it, but you can see SP, SX, and SO interact with the different Enneagram cores and cause different outcomes, but you can always see these core ingredients. And for example, every single SP Enneagram subtype will talk about the traditional way of understanding how to live and survive. They'll talk about resources, materialism,
resources.
Survival strategies.
My wife is an SP4, and I'm telling you, she's way more focused on stability, money, and stuff like that. 100%. There's no doubt. Okay.
Yeah.
So it's very true.
Yeah, money, currency, anything that's going to ensure
survival,
a physical
security.
Survival.
Yeah. Okay. Well, hopefully that was useful for people. Right. June asks, can you guys think of an who are the same subject? But someone already answered that, so I'm gonna move on. Pulcinella, is the gut triad only sensors? I've seen many arguments where intuitive types are argued as Enneagram 8, Enneagram 9, and Enneagram. I'll tell you this: it's one thing to maybe argue like intuitive 1 or maybe 9, but once you see people arguing about intuitive 8, just you disregard what they have to say. It's instant, because it means that they've they even lack the fundamental understanding of E8. Like, I'm confused by that. Sensor motor dominance literally focused on what is tangible and real, and what isn't considered that is dismissed. Apparently, fucking intuitive dominant type makes perfect fucking sense. So, in my eyes, neither of those types can be intuitive types. That's my own take on that. If Ring can add his own opinion.
No, I think you answered it as much as I would get to answer.
He doesn't. Yeah, he doesn't give a fuck. To be honest, he doesn't care about correlations. No, this guy doesn't care. This guy does not care. By the way, I wanted to Rust. Okay, I wanted to answer this one. Rust, you seem more excited and energized today than usual. Did you eat mac and cheese? My question would be, how the fuck did you know I'm having mac and cheese? I didn't have mac and cheese, but I had mac and cheese a few days ago. And I don't remember telling anyone I have mac and cheese, so how the fuck did you get that information? Very sus. Very fucking sus. Let me see what else we have. It's going to sleep. It's going to sleep when you know. I always felt like, and document what was possible was that the cocktails at the party are bad. So which one is fit for the gentleman? Huh. I'm very confused. Am I the only one who's fucking confused here? Like, people in Poland have mac and cheese. It's funny, but I don't eat much mac and cheese. It was probably one of the first times in years that I had mac and cheese. Literally, yeah. Oh my, dude, you think you're joking, but it's true. You think you're joking, but it's true. You should try it. Mac and cheese. It's not healthy though. This shit's fucking gonna kill you. But fuck it, you only have one life. And if you don't mind dying 10 years earlier, who cares, right?
What does this become a food stream?
That's true. That's true. Sorry, guys. Fuck me. Something fell. Okay. Means I shit in my one. Serem means serem. Pierogi, they're good, they're good. They're good, but people expect like you eat pierogi and it's gonna be like, oh my god, oh my fucking, it's like spaghetti, it's like fucking pizza in the best restaurant of Italy. Like, no, it's just pierogi. It's overrated. I don't want to be that guy, right? I don't want to. Maybe I'm a contrarian. Polish food and I don't give a fuck about Polish food. I'm an American. I want to eat like a fucking American. Cheeseburgers, fucking, I'm not here to fucking eat pierogi. It's bullshit, bro. This fucking food doesn't interest me. Give me like a huge fucking cheeseburger, yeah, or even fucking Italian food, spaghetti full of. That's what I'm here for. Not this other Polish shit, man. Fuck Poland. It's overrated as hell. The food here is so overrated. All the Americans, I can't wait to see the dish. I don't even want to eat this shit. This doesn't have fucking taste. Okay? How many calories does this shit have? 200? Ha! What the fuck? 200. Make it 1,000 and I'll eat it.
Someone clip this guy right now.
I'm an American trader. Mac and cheese using US sauce base and use like it is far healthier. Mac and cheese using Greek yogurt as your sauce base, yeah. Use low-fat cheese.
This food stream is crazy right now.
I fuck with that. Thank you. I appreciate this. How does each instinctual blind spot manifest? What do you think, Ryan? Because this is hard. We need to conceptualize this.
Okay, so from my prior knowledge, the so for everyone who doesn't, there's like variations of IVs. If you do it like the Naranjo IV way, it's very straightforward. It's if, for example, you are an E6, and if you are, let's say, an SP6, you just pick the other E6 that you're most related to. Maybe it's the social six, and now you are an SPSO. That's how simple it is. However, there are independent IV theories where you can look into each of the different kind of placements. There is the dominant, there is the secondary, and then there's the blind, right? If you're dominant, it's something you obsess over, you're neurotic in it, you're always like in that zone, right? Your secondary is the one you're actually more relaxed with. It's similar to like in PY, your second placement. You're really relaxed with it. You're giga chilling. You utilize it for like fun. And it's not something that causes you a lot of like neuroticism. And then you have your blind, which sometimes actually gets mistaken as people's dominant, oddly enough. But it's the one you care little to know about. It's kind of like your fourth placement in PY, where it's like this thing that is just not that important to you. You literally like you have like most anti-neuroticism towards it. So for me, I personally feel like in IV theory alone, I would be a social first, so dominant. I'd be neurotic in that, and I would actually be blind in SP. I feel like I should care a little bit more
Yeah, you don't care about that
about.
shit. You don't fucking give a
I
fuck
really
about
should,
that.
you know, like I really should. And I think I would be SX secondary if just by IVs
Bro, we're
themselves,
the same, man. I think we're the same.
right?
Yeah.
Right, dude.
Yeah, we're the
In
same. 'Cause,
Naranjo's theory, I'm actually SO and SP instead because I'm social 7. Then my secondary E7 subtype would be SP7 because it wouldn't be sexual 7. You know,
yeah,
I relate
yeah.
to SP4. So it's so interesting how that happens because they're two different methodologies. I know you're a secondary SX. Oh, it makes sense because you would pick SX8 over SP8.
I mean, I think oh my god, I'm gonna go Typology mode. Oh my god. Oh
Let's
my
do
god.
it. Let's do it.
I feel like I would have given way more fucks about that. You know, I'm all about like just I guess living my life, fixating on my passion, the things I really love to do, and pursuing that, even though it might not be the most pragmatic fucking situation. So I don't know. I mean, we can talk about some other time. You know, I feel like
Yeah, for
because
sure.
I hate this. That's why I hate about fucking Typology. You know, because it's like it causes you doubt, and you're like shit. Especially when you typed everything, bro. You typed every instant because you didn't know shit in the beginning, so you typed everything. So
Yeah.
now now it's kind of confusing. Fuck, bro. Okay, let me see. Let's go move on forward. I've never felt this triggered. Good job, Russ. Listen, I feel like Polish people in the chat, they're patriots. I'm not a patriotic person. Like, I'm gonna be honest. Maybe, probably because I'm Polish. Listen, I'm an 8 core. I stand everything. I stand against everything of the government, religion, and everything. Sorry, I cannot exist within this sphere. I can't. I can't. But I don't like when other people talk shit about the culture of Poland. I don't like when they talk shit about Poland. Then I have beef with them. Then it's like, okay, I don't give a fuck about Poland. I can't talk shit about Poland because that's my country. But you don't talk shit about my country. I will decapitate you. Okay? But I would not die for this country. I would not go to war for this country. Fuck no. Oh my god. No. Why would I feel? I don't. It's a dude. It's not my family. It's not people I even fucking know. It's a government. It's a government who's fucking me in my ass and fucking everyone else I know in the ass. And I'm supposed to be saying yes. We'll go to war for you. Absolutely.
Chat, clip him. Send it to the Polish government right now. Clip
Yeah. Oh, should I be pissed? This anti-religion fucking God-hating freak. You know, I'm the worst person to ask for food advice since I eat blind of taste and oh damn. First time I see someone in favor. I love American food. June, does Ross go to the gym?
Look at him.
Look at those
Just look
fucking
at it.
guns. Do you think I go to the gym, eh? Why are you asking that question? That's a
The gym
dumbass
comes to
question.
him, bro.
You should know
That's how-
better.
that's how
You
yoked
should
he
know.
is, alright?
You should know better. You should know better. You should be ashamed for asking this question. No, okay, no. Seriously. No. Come on. Let's. He's up. They're gonna be like, he's asexual too. He's showing his guns. Oh my god.
Op says shave those armpits, bro. First of all, okay.
First of all, listen. First of all, men don't shave armpits. Okay, I'm sorry. If you do, listen. You do you, man. But actually, the reality is, I probably should have done it, but I just don't give a fuck. So.
Nah, yeah. Bro. You're so manly. Your arm has beards too, bro. That's how fucking manly you are.
I'm so manly. I have zero hair on my chest, bro. Like I don't even have toddler hair on my chest, bro. That's how it's like a fucking baby. It's like baby's ass on my chest, bro. That's how manly I am, bro. Which, guys, obviously that's like the opposite of manly. Because the ass shit. Okay, never mind.
P8 question's cool.
Okay, let's go. I've read the P8 can be lustful. Is the P8 lust the same as E8 lust in Naranjo? I want Ring to answer this question.
I will answer. This is such a spicy question. First of all, I want to say, all those watching the stream right now, if you can't identify the P8 in front of you here, you gotta go back and read the content. The shit that Russ says on the daily to you all is so P8. Disgustingly P8. It is crazy. He is like an archetypal example, unfortunately. Archetypal example of the moralizing that the P8 does.
What the fuck?
What
happened? Wow.
Hey, I love it.
Yeah, unfortunately, you kind of fucked up, you know?
So, just to answer your question, the P8 of the classic Enneagram, the Ikazo Enneagram, and the E8 of the modern Enneagram, the Naranjo Enneagram, and other contemporary authors are actually a lot more similar than people think. When Ikazo's Enneagram got really big this year, because Sarah, his wife, released one of the most conclusive, like, systemic resources on his original system. Which, if anyone wants to check out my link tree, check out the third tab on my link tree. Right, it has the book that his wife Sarah released this year. Most definite if you want to understand the system. The P8 is a lustful person in the same way the E8 is. In fact, the P8 is a moralizer in the same way the E8 is also a moralizer. These are two what they have in common. Have in common is that they are both people who are driven by their inner sense of what is right and wrong, and they will implement on others what is right and wrong. And their sense of what is right and wrong doesn't come from any type of standardization or society. Remember, we're talking about an anti-intellectual.
I genuinely do have a feeling. I also have today. I'm like slipping words and shit. You know, like I feel like I'm on fucking ice skates, you know? Like, I feel you. Yeah. I just wanted to say I feel you.
Yeah. In chat, I got a cold yesterday. You know, Russ and I were thinking maybe we don't do the stream today, but we're just like,
I definitely was not thinking that. I was thinking I'm gonna pull your ass and you're definitely gonna be doing the stream. But I was kind of like, oh, it's okay, bro. You'll be fine, you know? But yes, come on, bro. Little cold is not gonna stop us.
Little cold won't fucking stop us. The people want typology information.
The people want shit, and they deserve shit. But you know, I think he painted perfectly. People act. Look, when you read Character and the Roses, and when you read 27 Personalities in Search of Being, you will notice about the Enneagram 8 that they do view themselves as a just and fair person. Like they want to have this impression of themselves as this like honest. They're honest and just because they will not lie to you. They will tell you, like, yeah, I did that shit and I don't give a fuck. Because fuck all that, you know? So they think that makes them honest. Because everyone else is pretending to be nice. So they're all fake.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah.
But they are hypocritical. Because even in the Character and the Roses, it says that they feel completely entitled to criticize other people and make statements about them and to have their neurotic needs satisfied.
Yeah.
But when you criticize them or you oppose them, they don't have any tolerance for that. And
Nope.
that's the hypocritical nature even of the P8. I mean, word for word. So I feel like when people try to say, oh, and an Hardcore 8 is completely different, it's like maybe if you told me a specific subtype, yes, but if you genuinely mean the whole core, it's really not. I think more
They're
so that
very
they don't
similar.
understand. Yeah, it's more so that they don't understand the 8 core of Naranjo.
Yeah, really, really great observation. And I want to say that big difference. And the same thing happens. Most people don't let it happen, but the E1 and the E8 are both interested in the sense of right and wrong and justice. The big kicker between P8, P1, E8, and E1, modern and classic, is that the E8's and the P8's sense of morality is not standardized. The E1 is looking to find a standardized morality which they can implement. It is something that is a communal shared value. The E8 is in an internalized system of values. It's their personal one. And that is a huge difference. And that is why they're also hypocritical. And E1s are also hypocritical, but they're hypocritical in different ways. The E8's hypocritical because they kind of pick and choose in their mind what is right and wrong. The E1 is and the P1 are always trying to conform to a higher standard, an agreed upon standard of what morality really should be. So that's a big difference that you can use to define the two.
Perfect, thank you. I mean, finally some explanation. And I think this is a good explanation because, you know, initially when I was looking at Ichazo, and that's the problem with Ichazo. I think you can use this to help yourself to type yourself. I looked at an Ichazo, right? And people told me, no, you know, the fucking P8 is like Enneagram 1, sexual 1. They're very, like, moral. They care about, like, being moralistic. And I'm like, yeah, that's not me, bro, you know? But then when I was reading it and when I looked at, like, when I really took a step back and I asked people very close to me, that actually became very fucking because I feel like what we project in our ego is different than the way we want to be, kind of the way we view ourselves. The projection is different from the way we actually come across often, right? And in Ichazo, that's a big kind of big point of Ichazo, that they might see themselves a certain way, but they come across in a negative way. And for the PA, it was, you know, how harsh they are and how critical they are. And I never really, I wouldn't define myself as that way, but I know I am, because, you know, when I take a step back and I look at what the fuck I act, I see it. But I want to see, I guess I want to see myself as, you know, I'm a fair person, you know, I don't try to fucking criticize people, you know, because I wouldn't like that done to me. So I try to think of myself as that, but I know it's not that easy. So initially, for me personally, I was like, oh, maybe I'm P2, because independent, you know, freedom, fuck it, freedom. I care about that. I care about the independence, being in control of relations. I see that. But whenever I was reading, and I told this to pragmatists, I told this to other people, hey, listen, I don't relate to really the big important aspects of P2. I really fucking don't. It seems, unlike me, those things are not something I care about. And that would get me bugging. I'm like, fuck, you know, like I'm not seeing something. And then I went to the books and I read the PA. I was talking to my wife and we really looked at me, who the fuck I am. And that became clear. And now, and it's funny because to everyone around me, it was clear. But to me, I'm like, nah, they're probably full of shit, you know? They probably don't fucking know shit. So that's why. But that's kind of my own experience. So remember that with the Ichazo, you know, your main fixation, you might want to be this good guy. Project yourself as this good guy. You might believe, you know, want to believe that shit. But you're a flaky, irresponsible cunt. And that can be kind of hard to accept sometimes, or see yourself as that sometimes. So that's my take on that. You seem to tolerate my criticism well, Rust. I would say thanks, but I didn't see any criticisms. So it's kind of like I'm taking credit. You know what I'm saying? I'm taking credit for something I didn't do, which that doesn't sit well with me, to be honest. But thanks, I guess. I think most people mistype subtypes. They mistype subtypes. They prioritize subtypes over cores instead of the other way around. Hence why there are ENFJ social 8 argument and INTP. That's actually a insightful comment, to be honest, because it's true. But they're also really distorting what those types are. Because even if you really take social, although maybe you are right, because if they don't know anything, they'll think social 8, protective, so it can be ENFJ. But it comes from Enneagram 8, and that's where the subtype comes. Like with the SP9 INTP, which was a super common typing. I mean, 2 years ago, INTP SP9 was the archetypal, So that's a very insightful take.
And this is why we talk about hashtag Enneagram fundamentalism. You gotta understand where your subtype is coming from. Yes, of course, the subtype gives you more insight at the end. But it's almost like in math, when you get an outcome, a result, you want to check for how you got that result to ensure that you got the right summation or whatever type of problem you're solving for. You want to check for it. Enneagram fundamentalism is the way you check for your subtype and to figure out, does everything add up? I guarantee you, if you identify your IV, you identify your core, and then you also do the additional work on the subtype, you are so much less likely to mistype. It is insane. Instead of just focusing on the subtype.
We always say fundamentals. Look at the big picture. Look at the big picture. Do not fixate on details, because hey, do I piss when I'm sitting, or do I piss when I'm standing? Does that make me sexual 7 or a soul 7? Right? Well, but I always do half and half, kind of sitting but also standing and pissing. So what am I, right? And this will mislead you. Don't do that. How to differentiate 1V from 4V?
Oh my god.
That's I don't know where to start, because 1V is 1V. It believes it's at the top, and it wants to assert its will to change the environment. 4V is not like that at all. I mean, I don't know where to start. They're both result volition, but that's where it really ends. 1V does not compromise on its path and volitional volition. That's it. And the 4V literally does go with the environment. They get influenced by things. And 1V wants to make a mark in the world. They want to make something. They are pursuing their fucking vision or their path. They are unbending. They will be unbending to the point where I would say with 1Vs, if you know them personally, it's very hard to try to influence the 1V when they have a certain path. You can maybe convince them, but you ain't gonna fucking change it. It's not gonna happen. So, and that's not the same with a 4V. 2V and 3V, again, third volition is aggressive and insecure. Second volition is more passive and more flexible. That's how you're supposed to think about that.
Yo, Rust.
What's up?
I just remember something that's gonna be super interesting to you. I don't know why I just remembered it right now. I actually finished all of season 2 of Arcane yesterday.
You did?
All of it.
Give me takes.
If you haven't watched season 2 of Arcane, please F us right now.
Yeah, maybe.
I don't want to talk about it.
Yeah, I don't know if we should, but we'll see what they say.
We should wait. Maybe we wait. Maybe we have a whole Arcane conversation as a topic in maybe our upcoming.
Okay. I wanna decapitate this guy. Just give me a second. I was the same guy who debunked you didn't debunk shit. Like, unironically, you did not debunk shit. The thing with you is, I'm gonna be honest, I don't dislike you. I don't hate you and I don't dislike you. I don't have negative emotions towards you. But I view you as you're intellectually arrogant. So you think you're very actually. You're like, oh, actually, I know. You The arrogance misleads you. And you need to understand that you didn't really debunk anything because you couldn't debunk anything. Do you know why? Because when we talked about combinations, I asked you a simple question. Give me the combination that you disagree with and provide the counter argument. You couldn't. So you know what you did? You went on a rambling. You went on a fucking rambling session, which was like, correlations not like this because this variables, I don't give a fuck. It's bunch of mumbo jumbo. If you cannot debunk a combination, don't talk about that shit. And then you talked about, that was the pinnacle for me. Once you start saying like TE dominant, Enneagram 8. And then people were talking about lust. You thought they talked about lust, like you Googled that shit. You went to Google, you looked what lust means on a random website. So like, I don't dislike you, but you are not very knowledgeable, you know, like, and you can be, that's the funny thing. You can be very knowledgeable, but you're not, because you don't read. You are arrogant enough to think you can make shit up, you know, you believe you can do that. So you are just busy creating your own theories rather than reading shit, you know? And if you maybe propose a fucking counter argument on a specific combination, that's a different discussion. But you never did that. And I know you didn't read shit. I know you didn't read the subtype books. I know you don't know shit. So I think it's kind of pointless. And I do view it as yapping, you know? Oh, I don't agree with correlations. No one gives a fuck. You cannot debunk shit. That's it, simple as. Because if you could, you fucking would make an argument. And that's my own take on that. Ring, you can take this.
Yo, chat, make sure to clip him. I want to have that for later when I release my Enneagram book. That's gonna be my prologue there. The introduction is gonna be that.
Wait, what you mean? What?
Bro,
Why?
that was hardcore, bro. It's like you fucking that dude was Drake and you were like Kendrick, bro. You fucking...
No. But I hope I'm not saying this with as much hostility towards him, because I've known him and I've interacted with him. I don't dislike him. And for example, I have my own flaws, you know? I have my own issues. So when I'm saying he's an arrogant prick, I hope he knows he's an arrogant prick, and he's an arrogant intellectual prick. I'm an arrogant prick too. I'm an arrogant prick. So that's fine. As long as we say what it is, that's fine. But I'm not, you know, I'm not trying to hate on him. I'm just said he was being smart with me. Oh, I did this. You didn't do shit. You didn't do fucking shit, okay? I decapitated you intellectually, and I would decapitate you physically. So I did both. And I'm not saying anything, okay?
You're right, yeah. We preach nonviolence.
Oh my god, I made myself laugh. I'm sorry. Oh, I'm sorry. It's a fucking joke. It's a joke. I'm literally just fooling around. I have nothing against him. I liked him. I fucking liked him. But people will be like, oh my god, you're so mean. I'm not trying to be mean.
Russ is one of the nicest people I know. I really don't get when people say he's mean. He might be intense, but dude is actually nice. You know, not like that fake nice or people ask you how you're doing. He's not that real nice, like, bro.
Yeah, I'm not gonna ask you how you're doing. Because
yeah,
I'll give a fuck how you... No.
But yeah, we're talking about it. I think that, you know what, maybe we give people another week. Let's open up the next stream and just do an Enneagram deep dive of Arcane. What is the chat thing? Do you think that would be a fun idea for you guys? What do you think, Rust? We can spend like the first 15-20 minutes just talking about
I'm scrolling through. I still have to read all the comments. Can you repeat that again?
I'm saying that maybe next stream, probably that upcoming Sunday.
Okay.
We can do the first 20 minutes with Arcane and do a deep dive on all the different characters. And to talk about it from the context of Enneagram and even classic Enneagram.
I like it because I'm very curious.
Right?
So wait, but I'm gonna know your typings, right, beforehand?
Yeah, I'm gonna let you know. Unless you want it'd be more fun for you to hear it in real time.
No, because then I'd be forced to butcher you. I'd be forced to butcher my own friend on camera, and I don't want to do that.
And now, you know what?
I'm joking.
That's entertainment.
Again, I need to specify. It's a joke. It's a joke.
With the steel chair, bro. Hell in a Cell?
It's a joke, okay? Okay? Fuck. I'm kidding. Remember about how being how tall is 5'6", right? No, actually, no 5'4". Around 5'4", I would say. 5'4" or 5'3". Huh, it's weird.
What is your height in the non-freedom units?
I was like 150 centimeters, like near like a midget. You can see, like my like midget hands. It's weird. It's so weird. It's so weird. Okay.
Make sure to get your questions in.
I
We're
know.
reaching
Yeah,
the
yeah,
end
yeah.
point of the stream.
How does being imaginative manifest in the Enneagram 9?
Interesting.
I understand why you're asking this, because when I was doing the SP9, I was kind of looking at the trait structure, and there is some kind of escapism when it comes to the imagination. It's hard to answer this, but the Enneagram 9 is still not a type that relies on abstraction. You need to understand, because many types can resort to certain disconnection, to daydreaming even. But just because this person daydreamed, does that make them NI base, like an ESI? You can make an argument that many of them can daydream and can be lost in their thoughts. Does that mean that they are fuck, my brain, bro. My brain just melted, okay? But yeah, that doesn't make them NI base. My wife had the same issue. So you have to look at the base, at the foundation of the Enneagram 9. What does the Enneagram 9 do in his neurosis to deal with the world? It's there described as a very concrete type. And it's the funny thing is, at the core, Enneagram 9 is described in the trait structure as someone who moves away from emotions, feelings, and abstraction. They move away from that, and they numb themselves using sensorical pleasure, familiarity, routines. They basically kind of disconnect their brain and their heart by being almost like an autopilot. That's how you can think of it.
That's a really good way to explain it.
Yeah, it's and it doesn't have to be like people think, eating chips every day. It can be that, but not necessarily. Like John, a good friend of ours, even
Shout out to John.
Shout out to John, love John. He was even sometimes saying, because he used to he used to edit my videos. He would say, it's funny, but for me, even editing the videos is almost like the neurotic need manifesting, because I can just disable my brain, get into this routine, doing
It's that self-erasure.
Right, exactly. So that's what Enneagram 9 is at the end of the day. Does that fit an INFP? In my opinion, it doesn't, because I do not see why we would. Because if at the person at the foundation rejects those abstractions and those kind of subtleties of life and resorts to physicality, concreteness, and losing itself in that concrete routine, they're not an intuitive type. I mean, that's simple as, Do you have anything to add or no?
I do want to add something. Thank you for asking. I'm gonna because you handle modern really well. I'm gonna talk about the classic perspective. The classic P9 is super interesting. It's probably one of my most favorite points in the original Ikazo, because I think that Naruto kind of missed the ball with modern E9, like missing out some really cool aspects of the original P9. The P9, imagine what we have as modern E9, but with this great fixation and focus on finding and understanding information and systems. They're actually called the Seeker, and they're very skeptical. They want to learn information. They want to understand why people think the way that they do, and they're very skeptical. They're like, this doesn't make sense, or why does this make sense? They ask a lot of questions. They might even argue and debate you. And when they believe in something, they can even become kind of like a zealot in the way some people would identify with maybe an E6.
That's the thing.
And this is such an interesting part because we're gonna use that word. There should be like a little ding every time we use the word intellectualized. P9 is the way I would look at the P9. The P9 does that same sort of self-erasure. They have that issue with their maternal figure in their life, right? Where they feel the need for self-erasure. They don't have that value. But the P9 has that additional point of becoming like a zealot of information. Similar to what I would say is like a 3L and PY. It's very similar. Um, I would say that they can also come across like 2Ls as well, where they just juggle between information, trying to find that right one. They're trying to find what is the right way to look at a system or information, and it makes them very much intellectualized. That I think Naruto really missed out in the modern E9s. I would say that was my one criticism because the P9 is really interesting because it does both. It does self-erasure, but it's also this skeptical intellectual fixation. That's all I wanted to say about it.
What's going on with the fucking chat? Because I see Akia, which is our member, and then I see Yusi, and Yusi said he's Akia. So who the fuck? I want to know. I'm pretty sure that's Dosdano. Oh my fucking god, Dosdano. You're gonna get smacked. You were lucky you were about to get smacked. Oh my god, man. But good job, Veronica, by the way. Because you this shit's not a joke, This is good attitude.
Yo, shout outs to Veronica. You are a pillar in the stream, and the rest of the mod team. You guys make it easy for us to sit here and just have a good conversation.
Clap, guys.
You guys
clap,
are holding down the fort.
Clap.
Yeah. Thank you. Yo, I'm saluting. But seriously, thank you guys.
I wanted to respond to something. Oh, this one. I wanted to respond to June. Russ is scary in the way he speaks. It's easy to take it to heart, but he's simply intense. His anger is a flash in the pants of the. Thank you so much, by the way. And I don't think I'm even angry. And it's hard to really articulate this or explain this. I'm not really angry. I'm just, I don't know what to say. I don't know if passion intensity is as a feeling, but yeah, I'm just very passionate and I might raise my voice, or I might have a certain more intense delivery, especially when I'm excited. When I'm excited, I talk about something I feel strongly about. I'm gonna be that way, but I'm not really that angry. To be honest, the truth is, if I was really upset, I would be quiet, That's the thing. If I was really fucking angry and upset, I would not be so I would in fact probably become cold and I'll become very fucking quiet. And that's when I'm fucking pissed, genuinely fucking upset. But this shit is nothing. I'm just having fun, I'm having fun because people are like, yo, I'm bigger than Rust. He's 5'5". I'm bigger than Rust.
Yo, put that shit on your resume, bro.
How much does he weigh?
Put that shit on your resume.
How much does he weigh? Fuck me, man.
Yo, what's your bench press?
What's your bench press? Listen, I weigh more than your whole family combined. No. I'm joking. I don't. Well, that would mean I'm very obese.
No, people's perception of you is so different than the way I see you. Like this idea that you're this scary,
I know,
crazed, intellectual authority.
No, but I listen. No. I need to defend this person. I don't think there's. I don't think she's saying. I don't think June is saying I'm necessarily scary. I think maybe that's how it can. It's scary, and it can be intense. From she doesn't know me, something, But from you know me, right? So you don't. You probably think I'm pretty chill.
You talking to me or June?
You. You.
Yeah, dude, you're giga chill, bro. I really see you as you're an extremely laid back, enthusiastic, chill person. And people will be like, "What? Rusted typology?"
That's funny. That's actually fucking funny, bro.
Yeah, I really and I.
So you
I feel
so wait. So bro. So why is this such a disconnect? People don't think I'm chill at all. They think actually I'm so hard to get. Why do you think this disconnect happens from you as someone who knows me very well? You're my friend. How is this possible that you have this relationship with me, but then maybe many other people, they really, it's difficult for them. Why do you think this is?
Oh man, I have so many ways I can answer that, but I want to use what you told me 2 or 3 weeks ago that I thought was really profound, that especially when we grow older, our neurotic tendencies are things that only really happen when we're under pressure or some sort of anxiety, right? Like you could be like a sexual eight, but you don't necessarily come across like a fucking like crazed person, like the way people think of all E8s, until you're like triggered in some way, you're pushed. I think you are a chill guy, like most people who are you. If you interact with, if anyone interacts with you with good faith, wants to have a good conversation, doesn't have an agenda, nothing, none of those alarms trigger with you, and you just want to talk, have a good time. We play like Marvel Rivals, and just have a blast. It's not serious. There's no agenda with you. You're just trying to use your time and have a fun moment with your friends. And I think it's so crazy that people make you into this thing that you're just not. And that happens because people also engage with you and already have the preconceived notion of you being
Right,
this very neurotic person. And then
right.
when they
So
come to you with that energy, you respond adaptively to the way people come to you. That I can see, because they already
so
think this
that's where
about you.
this disconnection happens, because you approached me, like, remember on PDB you approached, I don't know, like I probably I wrote on your profile, but I just wrote something
Yeah, you
about the
did.
combination. But then you reached out to me and we talked normally. Like there was never
Yeah,
zero problems. But I do believe, I feel like people people never talk to me, but they don't like me because of my beliefs in typology, which is crazy.
yeah,
You've never talked to them, but you don't like them. So
yep.
and then they kind of respond in a post underneath, and they give me attitude, like kind of hostile, trying to antagonize me. And of course, I'm not gonna be like, oh, I'm gonna be like, I'm not, wow. Then they say I'm arrogant. I mean, what the fuck you expect me to do? You want me to kiss your feet when you come with me with this fucking attitude? I'm not gonna be like, oh, yeah, I'm gonna think you're trash. How could I not? And that's why I think people need to learn, especially on the fucking internet. The way you approach people is the way people will treat you back. You wanna
Yeah,
have a good interaction with someone. They can be very chill person, they can be the chillest person, but don't ever think you can go to someone and play games with them, because they're not going to tolerate your fucking bullshit. That doesn't mean they're a fucking dickhead, they're just not going to be entertained by your bullshit. And I think
yep.
maybe that's probably what happens here. You come at me with fucking attitude, I'm not going to be like, oh my god, yeah, best buddy. Because also, like, have some self-respect. With my friends it's obviously different, but I don't blame. Listen, but my thing is this: if they see me as very, like, not chill and hard to get along, I don't blame them, because I know, like, in the moment, I'm not. I can be sometimes not that easy to get along with. I understand from their perspective. I can see that, especially with my kind of mentality. I could see how I could make it hard for them. I understand. So I'm not saying I blame all of them, because I feel like, I'm not a fucking saint. I can't have this, like, us versus them. I can alienate people, and when I see them on the opposite fucking team, I might not have much respect for them. Or I might be responsible for that shit too. So I think the problem lies on both sides. Fuck it. Let's be fair. Let's be fair here.
Fair enough. And you know what? We always preach accountability when it comes to the stream, the systems that we use, especially in Enneagram. Accountability is that thing that's going to get you to become less neurotic. So remember, guys, if you know what your neurotic fixation is, be more accountable for
Yeah,
it
take
today.
take fucking take responsibility. I don't like people who don't take responsibility. I despise people who don't take responsibility. To me it is a weakness of character. If I see a person and I've known people like that, fucking know. There are many things I dislike in a person, in a character, but this is one of its weakness. I view that as weakness, because it means you don't have the fucking balls or even the strength of character to sit and say, you know what, I am this way. I did this shit. That's who the fuck I am. And yeah, I'm not saying it's good, but that's what I did. That's what happened. So fuck it. And to take that shit, it requires you to leave your ego at the door. It requires you to take that shit on your chest and be accountable. Most people who can be accountable Do you know why? Because they're fragile. It's hard to be accountable when someone makes you responsible. You cannot cope with this weight of this responsibility because it will crush you. Your whole self-esteem is gonna get fucking destroyed. That's why you can't take responsibility for something bad that you've done. But that's my thing. That's why it's you need to realize, as people, it's hard for everyone to take responsibility. That's it. But you still should suck it the fuck up and not be a pussy and still do it. That's what I think. So it's hard for me sometimes. You think it's not? You know, someone says to me, I might fucking denial, use other defense mechanisms, but in the end I will look back. You know, I fucked up. It's me. You know, it's also me. I'm responsible. I think that is something we all should do, because it defines who the fuck we are. I think it defines our character. And if you want to have strong character, that's what you should do. You know, it's not gonna be easy, and you will fail, but keep going. That's what I wanted to say.
Well said.
You just well said. Well said. Let me see. There's so much. There is so much. He's just a chill guy. Now Ross is very happy-go-lucky. What's your weight? And bro, I told you I'm 5.
Oh my god,
bro! Like, what else? You gonna ask me for my fucking dick size? This is a public stream. I'm not gonna whip my fucking schlong out. But on a serious note, I'm actually 180. I'm 182 centimeters tall, and I'm 83 kilograms heavy. I know you wanted to hear the information. You know, fuck it. You remember? There you go. I don't know. Hopefully you will not misuse it. Maybe you're gonna call me obese. Please don't. Oh my god, I'm so scared. Please. Vitality, please don't do that, man. Why are you asking about those fucking sensitive information, bro? My shoe size too, please, no.
Yo, Russ, hold up a pen and then let them do the math themselves.
You know what people do? Like, how big is this phone in comparison to... Look at this, bro. Look at this.
Alright, do the math.
Yeah, and everyone's like, based on my readings, he's a fucking midget. He wasn't joking. By the way, we don't say midget nowadays. We say dwarf. Wait, shit, no dwarf.
We say elf. We say Santa's little helper too, don't we?
Oh god, that's so fucked up.
So
Yo, guys,
funny.
listen.
So funny.
If you're under if you're 4'10", look, if you're 4'10" and you're not a fucking dwarf, I don't know what to tell you. Okay, I don't know what.
Yo, Russ, let's answer any of our Enneagram and typology questions.
Yeah. Sorry,
can
guys.
always
Sorry.
ask about your height and weight on the Rusted Typology community server.
Yeah, bro. Why? You know what pisses me off? Like, that bro don't even ask me that on the server. He's asking me that on the stream. He's like, in the server, he's not asking me about my shoe size. He's asking on public. It's all fun though. We just took that shit. That's stupid, bro. This fucking stream is too fun.
It is.
He's making you in Sims.
That's funny.
He's making you Sims. Oh fuck.
He's making you in Baldur's Gate.
Being as Roshiro, welcome Roshiro. Roshiro's a fucking G. Okay. Being a 7, an 8. How both of you?
Ooh, great question.
How both of you? Okay, well, you want to start? Should I go?
I think you'll have a more traditional understanding of rebellion, or like example of rebellion.
That's probably because you're a social 7 and you devalue authority in a more indirect way.
Exactly. So
I'm
let's
gonna
start with you, and then we'll
So listen.
Yeah.
I would say people, I kind of made a post about this, but people think, Enneagram 8 is so exaggerated. It's not a person, it's a criminal. It's, oh my god, he must be doing crazy shit. He must be doing coke every day. And it's like, no. And rebellion against authority, to me in my life, was really present since the beginning. Like my father being an LLC, maybe sexual one. He prayed to him. Education was everything. Education being this. So he was putting a lot of standards on me. My mother was the same way, to be honest with you. You know, she was very intense woman. Maybe like a ESC sexual too, possibly. And very intense, very overwhelming emotionally. But I was. I think big part of my childhood was my parents saying, "Why can't you be like the other kids?" You know, like literally, my parents fucking.
Yeah.
Why can't you just fucking be obedient like them? Like, why is everything such a fucking? And it's not like I wanted to do it on purpose, you know. It's not like, oh, I'm gonna fucking make it a hellhole for my parents. It wasn't that way, but just it's a very typical story. My father really relied on intellect a lot. To him, it was like a sign of fucking everything, education and intelligence. You need to have information. So I went the opposite way because he used to try to make me feel dumb. You know, oh, you know, you don't know shit. You do. So I was kind of like, you know, fuck all this. You know, fuck the school. So I kind of became, you know, fuck the I don't think education should define who you are. I don't think it should define who your character. You can be a janitor. You can fucking work in McDonald's and you can be a respectable person. All this, I'm a fucking intellectual bullshit. So I went against that. So obviously, naturally, I've started failing school. I've failed one whole year. Wasn't going to school. And that's basically where it all started. I feel like it was seen in school, you know, against my own parents, because my father wanted to be this authoritative figure. My mother tried to often like use, you know, parents using all kinds of tactics, shame, guilt. But you know, I'm not saying in the moment it didn't hurt. Of course, when you're growing up, it hurts, you know. But I feel like it doesn't really have the same impact as it would for someone else, you know. Like if you shame them, they feel bad, but they would try to correct themselves. For me, because they shamed me, they tried to do that shit to me. That made me more fucking like. That made me go against them. That made me think like, you know, more fuck you, you know, like I don't need you. I don't need your approval. I don't need your love. I don't give a fuck what you do. You like, hate me, I don't care. And that's what was developed because of this constant expectation or trying to push on me. And I rejected it, you know. Because the fact is, if you cannot please your parents when you're very young and they can never be happy, trust me, if you try to get their love or give a fuck about love, you're gonna fucking suffer. So the only way to go around that shit is not to give a fuck about the concept of love. Why do you, if you don't care about love, there's no nothing. If you don't care about them accepting you, you're chill. If you don't even care about guilt or shame, it's easy. Everything becomes easy. So that's another big part, right? Then it's other big part, like societal, and to me also religious. I live in Poland, so church nearby, right? And my grandma's super religious. Everyone kind of fucking believe it's sacred. It's sacred. Now I'm 16, 15 years old, and I go out. I remember having not dinner, but I was with my family, my aunt, my mom, my father, and kind of religion became a topic, God. And I told them, you know, I don't believe in God. You know, I don't believe. I think it's bullshit. And my tone obviously was a bit harsh, man. I'm like, it's fucking bullshit, you know. I don't think it's. And I kind of was saying how I don't think if you need God to be a good person, you can't. That's what I said. And I viewed it more as a way to manipulate people. I viewed it more as a way to. I think a part of me was also prideful. I was like, you know, this is sheep shit. I'm not a fucking sheep. I don't need no higher power. I don't need guidance to tell me what to do, what to believe in. I am above that, you know. And that was always the mentality I had. So I was very much outspoken that I did not believe shit. And because of this rebellion, I got how many fights did I have about that? I made my life more difficult by fucking saying my opinion. I could have easily believed that I don't believe in God and stayed silent like everyone else in the family, but I was the only one who said fuck that. And they also looked at me like I'm crazy. Like, obviously, wow. Like, why would you say that? Just keep that shit to yourself. But for me, telling my truth was so fucking important. The fact that I even thought that they would try to oppose my belief made me feel like I have to speak it. It makes no sense, right? Because it's weird. It's like, because I was in an environment where it's so religious, I almost felt like it is naturally oppressive towards the opposition. towards my beliefs. Even though they're not trying to push shit on me, the fact is that I have to speak my fucking truth. Now, I feel like I have to. I have to rebel. I have to say shit and go against the whole grain. Even though, I don't need to. But to me, it's like, yo, I'm not gonna be in this fucking place. Like, I'm gonna fucking say what I think. Why the fuck shouldn't I say what I think? I believe in this shit. And those cunts believe in their own shit. But they better not try to think that they can, change that. That they can silence me. Even though they might not try to silence me. But that thought is there. So I'm like, oh, fuck that. I'm gonna speak up. I'm gonna rise up. And of course, suffer consequences. But that is okay. So in my life, I've always my wife says the same. No one can tell you what the fuck to do. No one can change your shit. There are certain things in my life I cannot compromise for a living human being. Mother, wife, I can't. I just can't. It's not in my bone. So there's just things I just am self-driven, and that's it. And over time, I feel like your parents, when you're an adult, they can be like, they can try telling you shit, but then they tell you like, I don't know why I'm telling you this. You never listened. You never listened. And that's me. I'm chill. Just don't try to fucking, I'm gonna be outspoken about my opinions. And if I feel like I'm in an environment who's pushing their own agenda, who's pushing their own authority, I will speak up. Fuck it. I'm gonna be the fucking loudest because, they believe in something. I think it's bullshit. It's time to say it's bullshit, And that's kind of the weird thing of rebellion for me. I'm sorry I'm rambling. I try to,
No.
I go carried away. But that's
No,
my...
that was a great. I was like, that's a great example of. First of all, anyone here, please, what he said, try to type him fucking E2. I really dare you try to fucking type him E2 based off of that, because it's such a bad take. This dude is so E8, it's crazy. But that was a really great
Thank you.
example of E8's non like strategizing type of rebellion, where the idea of strategizing it almost feels disrespectful to the self. Like, why would I try to like convince you in underhanded ways or represent myself in underhanded ways?
It's oppressive. I mean, there's no other way I wanted to say it, but it's oppressive. The fact that I have to stay silent because we live in, and I cannot believe there are people who live in a society that tries to control them, and they go with it. I can't do that. I just fucking can't, because it's like killing my own self. It's like murdering the only thing I have in me, which is my spirit, which is my ability to be an autonomous individual, to have my beliefs and my values. If you take that shit away from me,
Yeah.
I'm just a bot. I'm just an NPC. I live according to their desires. So to me, it's oppressive, and I'm not gonna like strategize. I probably should have, because I think it was a really stupid way to go about things, and I suffered a lot because of that. I had a lot of consequences. It was just dumb. But now as I'm older, I think, fuck it. That's who I am, and that those are the choices I've made, and I don't regret them, because that's just who I am. But I know it's not like the seven core. You can go on about your attitude towards that rebellion.
Yeah, I'm gonna explain this, and then I think we should probably conclude the stream for today. But I really want you guys to see the way Russ explained his version of rebellion is very different than my variant of rebellion, and this is a core aspect of both the E8 and the E7. The E8, they feel like they shouldn't be underhanded with what they feel, is right or wrong. There'll be a direct rebellion. The E7 instinctively feels guilt and even shame at times for what they feel is what they desire. Especially that is why that E7 uses concepts such as self-indulgence to make what was bad good in a more of like a, I'm gonna say the word again, beginning intellectualized strategies to kind of maneuver around it in a way that's not direct at the E8. The E8 is a directly rebellious character, where the E7 is a strategizing, kind of using game theory type of rebellious character. So now I am a social 7. The way I rebel is even more underhanded because the SP7 And even the sexual seven are a lot more direct with the way they rebel. In comparison, of course, they're still E7s at the end of the day. The social seven is someone who is the most attached to traditional power structures and authority, but yet still they still adopt from the core E7 a need to rebel against those structures at the same time, which creates like an interesting duality. For me, I throughout my whole life, no matter what job or occupation I had until maybe very recently in my life, I would always tell people. Let me talk about like school and like jobs. The first week of any job or schooling that I went through, I am the absolute best student. I'm doing everything perfectly. I'm always on time. I never miss anything. I have like, perfect charisma. I make sure min max everything. But after a week, I lose so much interest in what I'm doing, especially if it's work, that I start slowly gaming the system in one way or another. I start devaluing the authorities that create the structure in which I'm forced to face boredom, under stimulation, um, in places where it's monotony and I don't feel alive practically. This is interfering with my neurotic fixation towards gluttony. So I utilize loopholes, um, openings in terms of like opportune openings to avoid situations or avoid responsibility or try to leave these commitments in a way that doesn't defame my character or even get me to be removed from my position. But I would talk and act in ways, for example, like in high school, I would cut my classes so often because they were so boring. But I always cut them in a way that made a lot of logistical sense so that I wouldn't get punished for it. For example, when you would cut high school, sometimes they would call your parents. Well, I just changed the emergency card to have my phone number instead. So when they would call it, no one would pick up. But I wouldn't cut so much that my grade point average would drop into failure because I knew that would fuck my future. So what I would do is I would cut and leave class just enough that I would get like a B out of like an A, but I wouldn't get like a C or a D that would fuck up my future and then make me look bad in terms of like traditional power structures. In addition to that, like this goes into like work too, where I would take breaks. I would not come into work. I would talk to the right people at the right time to not do certain tasks. And I would often, especially if I did not like my boss, manager, I would find ways to make their lives harder, almost like an intellectual game. Ding, 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 use the word intellectual again. Where it would make their lives harder but in a way that you couldn't really necessarily trace it back to me. It wasn't in a way Russ was like, I don't like you as a manager. I don't like what you stand for. I'm only working here because I need to survive. The way I would rebel is, oh, I can't come in on those days, or ooh, I gotta go home early right now, or oh, I would when they're not looking, I would like plan my lunch around the time that they wouldn't have lunch, just to take an extra 2 hours of lunch instead of like a 1 hour lunch. I would be non-committal, but I would always talk about being the most committed person and how much I love my job and how much I like being here and like doing all these things to really come off with the image that I'm a very committed person. But underneath, it's boiling that feeling of being understimulated, to be stuck doing repetitive work for 8 to 9 hours. I would find any and all ways to get out of work. That's why currently my job, the only reason that I'm fine with my job currently is because they allow me a lot of freedom to do work on my own pace whenever I want to do it. I can be gaming in the middle of the day and they won't give a shit as long as I get my work in on time. But the other work and other places I've been in, especially when they have these rigid structures that they told me this is the right way, the best way to do things, I would always find ways that I could remain looking like a productive member of society, but also taking every single shortcut, every single loop, any way that I can give myself even seconds of time where I didn't have to do understimulating labor. I've done it. I've used strategic like what's that word that like a lot of like men do in relationships with women where they're like it's strategic incompetence. Like, oh, I don't know how to do. Yeah, yeah, I do that all the time when I was younger. I'd be like, oh, I don't get this, and especially at work. Or like
Wow.
when
So
it when
that
it's
would when you do that because they would give the task to someone else. Or like,
Yes, exactly. They would give it to someone else, or they would show me how to do it that one time, which would give me just enough push to get through that day. And then maybe they'll ask me again and be like, "Oh, yeah, yeah, totally, I got it." Be like, "Oh, you know what? I need a little bit more help on this." Just to do anything possible to not limit
you
myself
do
to a
everything
repetitive structure.
possible in your life to avoid
Yeah,
basically the hardship and boring mundane world.
and, and it isn't about morality and what is right and wrong in the same way the E8, like you have this inner sense of what is right and wrong. For me, I have a fear that I'm going to be stuck.
Wow.
That this is it. I'm going to have to go through days and days of monotonous bullshit that doesn't matter. But I don't want people to see me as a deviant. So I always did just enough to get by, but just enough to make sure that no one can catch me and tell me, "Oh, you're just like a bad person.
Right. So
You're
they
like a
cannot
degenerate."
catch you on your bullshit because
Yeah.
it's on that line. Wow.
Hunter asked me what's my job. I work as an organizational developer. I have a master's in organizational psychology, industrial organizational psych. So my work right now is super, super free. I can do any type of work I want at any, like, as long as I make meetings and I make deadlines, my boss is completely hands off.
Man, that's
And this
based.
is
Oh my
exactly what
god. Oh my
I
god.
couldn't do any other type of work. You want me to come in 7 o'clock every day, leave at 7 o'clock at night? I am
Yeah.
not that guy.
I'm.
I will
It's
leave
funny.
that work somehow.
It's funny because I relate to the same thing. Like
Yeah, right?
yeah. If you expect those things, no. But if so, it's such a blessing for you to be able to, in a way, have the perfect job. Like what you know, that's such a blessing. That's such a nice thing. You know.
Being in common though, and I already see you doing this, of course, with your channel.
Yeah.
Have to be our own bosses at the end of the day, because the freedom is not enough. To know that your freedom
Well,
is
to me,
a
we do think the same because to me, I don't want someone else. If I want to, the thing about being your own boss, I feel like people have this fantasy like I want to be my own boss. I want to feel like a boss bitch. It's not about that shit, you know. It's really not. It's about when I'm the boss, I can create my own vision for things. I can say which ideas I want, which ideas I don't want. So I'm in control of that department too. I can, if I want to leave, I can leave. If I want to take some time, I can take some time. I am in control of every single fucking facet.
Yeah.
And that is the true freedom. That's the true desire
That,
there.
I'm pretty sure you feel this way, Russ, but when your freedom is contingent on someone else's decision making, that feels awful, doesn't
I
it?
can't, I
I
can't,
can't. I hate that shit.
yeah.
I told this to Russ too. I could be getting paid a bit more money than I currently am right now, but I would have to lose all my freedom. I'd never do that shit. I can't do it. I think getting paid more is great. Don't get me wrong. I think having money is great, you know? But I can't do that shit because I would wake up every day being like the most miserable person, like I was in prison. It feels like prison
Yeah,
doing monotonous
I feel,
labor.
and that's what kind of the both the 7 and the 8 sure, you know, the
Hmm.
feeling a restriction. It's depression. I feel
It's
like
depression, bro.
I feel like unironically, if there's anything that could make me feel anything close to depression, like this resignation, like just I don't want to fuck, I don't, you know, you don't feel contentment. It's probably doing something I fucking hate to do. I have to fucking
Yup.
do it. I have no other choice. This restriction. That's misery. That's depression. That's depression. You know. And
Fucking sucks,
I
bro.
always tell people, you know, I hope that you are able to. But some people don't care. You know, my wife is more. She wants to belong in a structure. She wants to coexist in a structure. Gives us stability and security. So we are very different. You know, we're very opposite, and it depends on the person. You know, but I always say do what the fuck you love. And I know it's not the most pragmatic thing, but
Yeah.
within reason. Ideally, you can do what you love and turn it into something that gives you profit. I mean, ideally, that would be an amazing thing, you know. But never, it's never about the money, you know. It's because there are most people who are depressed. They have money, okay. They do have money, bro. Like money ain't the fucking problem. They're still miserable because money doesn't fix it. There's something big at play. Okay, last question. Then we need to bounce because people are tired. We are tired, man. We don't
We're
want to. We're
tired.
tired. What would Section 7 rebellion be like? I mean, I feel like you explained how Sexual 7 rebellion would be like. To be honest with you, trolling people the fuck out, teaching them I didn't believe they would answer directness. I mean, what do you think? Do you think, Ring, this is pretty much how we would go?
Oh, for sure. We also talk about this too, that E7s are so similar to each other, same with E8s. I have to say too, so in high school, I was definitely, but people can expect this of a social 7 because we're angels or whatever. I used to bully not just like people around me, but the teachers in my class by asking them questions or like dumb questions or like challenging questions I felt like they couldn't answer, and then putting them on the spot. So I think it's an E7 thing to find that type of social like satisfaction and also just gluttonous pleasure from being in those like stimulating situations where you're putting people on the spot or like you're like intellectually challenging someone. Ding 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 ding, intellectual. But yeah, I think that's perfectly fine. E7s are known to do that. They're intellectually. What is that word? Oh, you know what Naranjo says? I love this. The E7 eats the other with their words. That's the E7 for you. It's really good.
That's perfect. That's perfect. Um, but okay, guys. Oh my god, no, 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 no. What the fuck? My friend, I've seen you. I'll tell you, I've seen you in the chat. So I see you as someone who. I see you like we're on the same side. I feel like you believe it. You are part of the cause. You are doing the good thing here. But you got me shaken with this question. There's 0% chance Logan fucking Paul would ever be an LIE or ILE in billion years. I type him ESC sexual 3. That's what I type him.
Yo, Logan Paul lies. He's an LIE.
I'm dead. I'm dead. He's still he's a supportive person of the channel, so fuck it. Shiba, I don't type him as CE because I've noticed the guy has no FI ego. He like there's nothing about Logan that is all about like my personal fucking attitudes to the world. He is the conformist when it comes to his personal fucking opinions. That's the truth. He even says he hates he doesn't know how to cope with being disliked. He can't. He has to be liked. He said that shit. So if you have an SEE, why do you think no one fucking likes him? Which is the irony. No one likes him because he's desperate to be fucking liked. He has no true opinions of his fucking own. His political shit, who he likes, who he does. That changes depending on what the audience wants to hear. His producers give him cards. Oh, say this, Logan. That's what you believe in. Oh, really? I believe in this. Okay, I don't care. As long as my image is good. Do you know what happens when I'm in a CE and my manager, my PR team tells me maybe you should control your mouth a bit, and then I'm like, fuck that. Okay, I'm already controlling my fucking mouth. Everything's okay. Okay, there's no way I would be sacrificing my shit and my beliefs because the PR team wants to fucking preserve my image. And it's one thing to preserve someone's image and another thing to craft this ideal fucking image. That's not the point of that, right? Like if you're a public figure, it's not about crafting a perfect image. It's about crafting the image of who you are, ideally. Ideally, I would want to come across as a person. When you watch me, you see who I am. Not who I want to be, but who I am, right? That's who I am. So you're not going to look at me and fucking, oh my God, who the fuck, That's ideally. So having this fucking image, I'm rambling, bro. That's bullshit. But basically, Logan Paul, that's bullshit. Fuck the image and fuck the Logan Paul bullshit. Okay, let's see what they're saying.
Wait, I have a question to the chat. If you can give this like a quick survey. Would you guys rather A, have longer streams, or B, have more streams that might be shorter?
That's true.
I'm just curious.
That's true. Get that shit going.
Let us know. We will actually implement on that. So just let us know.
Yeah. Streams more often, but shorter. Streams longer, but less frequently. Wait, was B the longer option?
Yeah. B was no, B was having. Fuck, now
Wait.
I don't remember. Guys, what did I say?
Wait,
Guys, what did I say?
wait, which one was B? Which one was B?
B was shorter and more often. I forgot.
Okay. I mean, it looks very. It looks like people are very more. Yeah. Everyone is about that, like, about longer stream justice for moderators. Oh yeah. Way was more often.
Moderated. You know what? You know what it is.
I
Russ,
think everyone's B. They want it more often. Okay. Let's say B. Everyone that says B. Yeah,
Okay,
it is.
so
It's scary. Okay, how long do you think are we talking? 1 hour? 1 hour 30 minutes? 1 hour 20 minutes?
Ooh. Oh my god! Imagine we did like a streamathon. We stream for 30 minutes, but every time we get a subscriber, we stream for additional 15 to 30 minutes.
Bro, imagine if we stream 5 hours.
Oh my god, bro! We would start talking about like some. We would like.
Bro,
start
imagine
inventing
no.
new typologies at that
Oh
point, bro.
my fucking imagine if we like on Christmas put like a 4-hour fucking like stream.
Oh my
Like 4-hour full blown fucking stream. Christmas stream,
Oh,
bro.
man. Christmas, yo, Christmas.
So
came
Veronica
early,
says
though. It came on time.
hour 30 minutes twice a week.
I like that. What do you guys think of one that's kind of consistent like this Sundays, and then one that we kind of do impromptu? Or do you guys like consistent streams, but just two of them? Curious. This is really good data for us, by the way. You're gonna have to wear the hat, bro. If we do
I don't give I will wear the fucking hat. I don't care. I will clown myself.
The streams are usually 2 hours. We're actually overtime right now by like.
Yeah, we're
30
heavy overtime.
We love you guys. I'm sick too. I'm sick out of my mind.
Consistent. I mean, they do
this.
think twice, and 1.5 hour, twice a week. Yes, but do you guys want randomly, or do you want on a like a specific date, like Monday and then Sunday? Like, what's the best? What would you guys think? Of course, not random. It makes sense. To be honest, yeah, they would hate random. Routine. Yeah, makes sense. Makes sense. Because people can prepare for that, you know?
That's what I was saying too, you know?
Yeah, you were right. Maybe... I'm not sure Friday.
I'm thinking maybe there's like a middle ground. Like, we stick to the Sunday, but then maybe at the beginning of the week, that Sunday, we can, like, announce this week's stream. It could be like a Wednesday or Thursday or Friday, but people will know days in advance what it is.
Wednesday and Saturday. No, not Saturday. Sunday. Thursday and Sunday.
Yeah.
Thursday and
Saturdays are
Sunday.
no good.
What you think?
They said what, Thursday and Sunday?
Yeah, Veronica said that.
The Thursdays we would have to stream before my Thursday's Baldur's Gate session.
What about Wednesday? What about Wednesday?
I think we'll talk off stream. I need to go through some of my commitments to see what has availability.
Guys, we're gonna play, guys. We're gonna play. We're gonna play. What are we playing, guys? Guys, what are we playing? What are we playing, guys? Get fucked. No, I'm not getting that game. I'm not getting that game. That's bad.
Oh my god.
That,
how much
no.
would you guys donate to watch me and Rust do a co-op playthrough of Elden Ring? Because I love Elden
no, what the fuck? I'm not doing that shit for free. I am not doing that shit for
Elden
free.
Ring.
I don't give a fuck. Sorry, I'm not being a charlatan. I'm not doing that shit for free.
No
No way.
Elden
No way.
Ring.
I don't like this game. I don't like this game. By the way, if
Yo,
you're wondering, did I bite it? The answer is yes. I was actually very upset because I was playing FIFA, and then I bit it off. Actually,
oh my god. Maybe you are the
I'm joking. I
savage.
didn't bite it off. I actually. And then they will say, then they will say, like, Enneagram 8 are monkeys. And then fucking the
Oh my
stereotypes
god.
get fucking created. Because this one dude
Veronica.
start eating. And here comes, here comes the allegations. Sexually, he expressed his anger freely. If everyone donates $1, it would be like 50. Dude, actually, if everyone donated $1, it would be $50. I would do it.
That's funny. Veronica,
Ima-
I was asking if you know how to do polls in these streams, let us know because they can be hilarious.
Imagine if we played like rivals. Like imagine if we played like rivals, like Marvel rivals.
Yo, that would be fun. I'm so addicted to Marvel Rivals right now. If anyone represents Marvel Rivals, I want to put our names out there. Just Rustin here and Ring want to be sponsored. We will shill your game. We love that shit. I people someone was asking me what do you play in Marvel Rivals. I want to give it to you as well, Russ. I'm a Loki main. I love playing
Yeah,
Loki.
it's so obvious. It's so predictable. He's a Loki man. Yeah, he's a Loki main. Very good, very good. I play DPS. I Hela, Hawkeye.
Love Hella.
Yeah, Hela is very good. Although I'm a bit,
Hella good.
I'm a bit Hela good, but I'm a bit pissed off because I was popping off with Hela like days in a row, like crazy shit, like ban me, I'm cheating, crazy shit, 43 kills, 3 deaths type of shit, hacking shit, right? Without hacking, obviously, but yeah. But then they fucked with the acceleration. They added some, I heard, mouse acceleration, and I don't know if it's fucking with my head, like the shots ain't lining up. The shots ain't lining up. Okay, now something has to be bitten. So don't look at me, because I don't know what the fuck. Do you
Russ,
play
I think,
Bucky? I don't play Bucky. I play. Oh, well, I play Bucky is the Winter Soldier, right? I did play Winter Soldier actually. But one thing I don't like about the Winter Soldier, which I prefer in the Hela, is because Hela is a hit scan. Like Winter Soldier is not a hit scan. I told this to like Ring. This shit.
Yeah,
Winter Soldier is not a hit
fucking
scan.
Winter Soldier. Yo, I thought Winter Soldier was a fucking hit scan.
No,
and
no.
This guy Russ was like, "Nah, bro, this
No,
isn't a hit scan." I was
no,
like, no,
I
don't
see it
believe
as
you.
no.
And
No.
he was right. This dude was right.
Yeah.
Hella is the hit scan, and Winter Soldier is a projectile. Who
Yep.
fucking would believe that?
Which is funny because you think the other way around, right? Yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. I mean, this is really fun. Yeah.
We gotta end this stream.
I would love
We're
to
30
keep
minutes
going.
over.
What the fuck is a hit? Hit scan is someone when you shoot, it immediately gets on the target like a bullet.
Yeah.
But
There's no lag time.
anything that's not hit scan is a projectile. You shoot and you need to like predict a shot because it takes a fucking 2 seconds, a second to get to the fucking target.
Yeah.
Hit scan is basically you hit you hit at the point and it fucking it gets to. Motherfucker, you know what I'm saying. You know what I'm saying.
I just want to say one thing. People are asking me, "Oh, Ring, you think Gatsby is a social 7? I think he's a social 3 or whatever." I think the novel book version of Gatsby is a social 3. I think that the movie version, the one that came out in the last 10, 15 years, that version in particular is a social 7. And I rewatched the movie twice this year and came in with this idea that he was a social 3. He is not an E2, he is not an E3 in the movie. He is a pure, unadulterated idealist. There's no conformity into fitting into a particular standard. The standard is something that he has created himself. The book version, I would easily say, is a social 3. And people were asking, why do you think Gatsby's an LIE? Well, once again, I'm not gonna go into socionics typing, but Augusta herself typed Gatsby as an LIE. But that's all I'm gonna say about it. You know, I don't want to go into this. We're ending the stream, right? Thank you all
Okay,
for
guys,
tuning into Typology Odyssey.
thank you.
I'm gonna pass it to you, Russ.
Typology Odyssey. Typology Odyssey is the name. Thank you to everybody who was present. You guys know how we feel about you. You know, you are part of the Rusted Nation. The Rusted Nation, you can put the RN on the fucking PDB profile, by the way, if you're part of the Rusted Nation, because let the people see us, okay? The people need to see us. When they open PDB, they see RN, Rusted fucking Nation. We taking over. That's why the fuck we're here, okay? So, obviously, appreciate all of you. Let's have more fun streams. Yeah, the streams are fucking hilarious. So, we will do twice a week. Let's get the shit rolling. Maybe we're gonna get some gaming streams too. Fuck it, you know, have some fun. But thank you, everyone. You guys are great. See you guys next time. We will inform you about the next stream. Stay tuned, boys, and we are out.
See ya.